Let's finish this. April 6th, 5:30 p.m. Very Big Circus. Big Top. Perspective there is very weird. The stage is very small. Oh, hi, Mr. Edgeworth. Did you guys come to watch the show? Hello, Miss Berry, Mr. Saint. You're a little early, I'm afraid. We're still practicing. But I'm glad you kept your promise. Yes, I remember you giving me this. That's so great. You're gonna have so much fun. Think even you'll be surprised, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh. I think you surprised me enough for one day already. What are you talking about? Would you mind looking at this photograph, Miss Berry? That's the eye painted on the balloon you used to advertise the circus, correct? Oh, yeah, what is this exactly? I have a strong suspicion that the balloon was used by the criminal we've been looking for. You do? Who's usually in charge of the balloon, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, that would be Simeon. But wait, you don't mean... Do you mind if you're looking at this photograph? Every time I do, it makes me laugh. I make that joke all the time. And I cut myself off every time I do. Mr. Saint, you took the balloon out late the other night, didn't you? Sure, I was practicing. I'm still pretty bad at flying it, so I need to put in some extra hours. Yeah, I thought you'd say that, Karma. I had those same thoughts when I first played this game, too. Look, we've already got one balloon on stream. We don't need a second one. At night, when it would be even more difficult than usual. A strange time to decide to practice. But why else would I have taken the balloon out? What are you saying? That you weren't practicing at all. You were taking an unconscious Kay to the top of the big building. In order to frame her for the murder... The murder? God damn it. In order to frame her for the murder of Rosie Ringer. The security cameras never recorded Kay taking the elevator up to the roof, which means she must have gotten there from another way, from the sky. And the only person able to make that happen would have been you. But, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't understand. Police can't see unless they look up. Why are they even allowed to fly a balloon like that in the middle of a big city? Yeah, that's a good question. Why did no one else see it? Yeah, Karma, you're on the same wavelength as me right now. Zoinks! Yeah, that's the whole... you got exactly what I'm going for there. That's not all you did. You also attacked Sean at the garbage disposal area, drugged him, and carried him away. That's why you were late for the hearing at the courthouse, wasn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I do any of those things? Please, you have to believe me. I'd never, ever do anything like that. Wish I could believe you, but I can't. Any trust I had in you has been completely destroyed. That's horrible. Why would you say that? You told me back at the jail. You said you believed I was innocent. Okay, I believe you. You don't have to worry about that. We're friends. We know what it's like to be in your shoes. We're all part of the same club after all. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Unfortunately so, I'm afraid. Thank you for sharing such personal details with us. By the sound of it, you had little reason to kill Knight. If anything, you're the one most affected by his passing. And what's more, I simply don't believe a person as gentle as you is capable of murder. Rest assured, we believe you, and we will get you out of here. This is just awful. I never thought you'd lie to me. We didn't lie. I swear, Simeon, You said you knew what it was like to be me. I trusted you. That hurts, Kay. It hurts so much. I'm... Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. This is Simeon we're talking about. He's not a bad person.
Objection!
Edgeworth's like, yeah, fuck this. I see it now. That's your strategy, isn't it? With everybody. You root out their psychological weaknesses and exploit them. And without even realizing it, they wind up doing exactly what you want them to do. In other words, he's an abuser. Exactly the behavior one would expect from the manipulator behind all our recent troubles. I was too blind to see it before, but you won't fool me again. Simeon Saint, you are guilty of crimes too numerous to mention. Oh, so that's how you want to play it, huh? You always did have the courage of your convictions, I guess. Luckily, grinding people's self-belief into dust is kind of a hobby of mine. Well done, all of you. Well, this certainly is a side of him we haven't seen before. So much for the trainee animal tamer who wouldn't hurt a fly. Guess that was all in Act 2. But I'm glad we're finally getting to meet the real you. Simeon, this can't be true, can it? Truth, lies, what does it matter? Huh? All you need to know is that Mr. Edgeworth here has made me very mad indeed. Ow, my head. Look at the yeah. Well, I had it moved during the change there, but yeah, the squirrel with his puffy cheeks holding up the cat. And now he's going to pay. Great, another evil clown. Yeah. Squirrel's bulking. I was just out practicing. Sure, I went up in the balloon a couple nights ago, but I was just practicing. I guess somebody took that picture when I flew by the big building. I fly around the area doing promo stuff for the circus all the time. Nothing to see here, Miles. Nothing at all. So you go up in the balloon reasonably often. Look at that ape back there trying to escape. Ape escape! Oh! Haha. Yeah, promoting the circus, like I said. Is that true, Miss Berry? Well, it's true that it's Simeon's job to go up in the balloon and spread the word. Guess just everybody in the area would have seen him up there by now. Man, the sprite era of the series with a bang with these sprites, yeah. Well, that same balloon was used in the commission of a crime. Nonsense. I just happened to be in the area where it happened. Somebody took a picture when I was floating past the big building, that's all. Talk about the idea later? Yeah, just send it to me on DM, Karma. I'll be the judge of whether you just happened to be nearby. Thank you very much. Such a good villainish transformation, too.
Hold it!
This balloon, do you usually launch it from here at the circus? No, you need a wide open space. There's a park over by the Sunshine Coliseum. That's where I usually take off from. Not as extreme as others, but it's just really well done, yeah. I see, and how do you get the balloon to the park to launch it? Not by hand, that's for sure. That thing must weigh a few 100 pounds. It's kind of impressive that it could even get off the ground, now that I think about it. Prefer if you didn't change the subject. How do you transport the balloon? Wow, give a guy a break, will ya? Not like I was getting miles off track. Sheesh. We use a truck, okay? It is loaded onto the back and away you go. A truck, you say? Yeah, last time I took it out would have been 2 days ago. That could be important, but keep it in mind. Do they change his profile picture now? I think they do. Yeah. Animal tamer in training at the Very Big Circus, who is also the criminal mastermind behind the recent string of incidents. He does look very intimidating there. They did such a good job, like, keeping his facial expressions while like keeping it recognizable, while making him look like a completely different person.
Hold it!
So just to confirm, the truck hasn't been anywhere else since then. Why would you need to confirm that? I just told you, didn't I? Answer the question, or are you trying to avoid this one too? That was a cheap shot even for you. If I say something, you don't need to confirm it because I just said it. See how that works? But since you insist, the truck's been parked out back since the day before last. His new look almost makes you remind you of who, Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter? Yeah, I can see that. And now the balloon was still loaded on the back, basket and all. Now explain to me why that even matters. Not right now. I think I'll just thank you for giving me a straight answer for once and leave it there. So he means to insist the truck has been parked here since 2 days ago. Think you might have let more slip there than you realize, Mr. Saint. Are you done? Alright, as I was saying... The balloon out by the truck would have been 2 days before last. Looks like Kay's dad. No, he doesn't. Doesn't look like Burn.
Objection!
Obviously, it's the garbage truck, because that's what was used to kidnap Sean. This truck, it wouldn't happen to be blue by any chance. Huh? So what if it is? We happened to see a blue truck ourselves just today, one with a large basket loaded in the back. If that truck was the truck you told us about, then your statement about it not having moved in 2 days is a lie. Oh, that might have been the balloon there. Yeah, and the basket's underneath it. Damn, I didn't even realize that. Agent Lang, Emma. There you are, Mr. Edgeworth, at last. I've been trying to find you ever since we wrapped up the case yesterday. He sent me a message saying you were here, so I came right away. And I found what you asked me to go look for. It was loaded onto a truck in the parking lot out back. A blue truck. Lion hot air balloon. Smaller balloon used for promotional lot purposes. Saint is in charge of it and drives it around the back of the truck. In the fan translation, it was just called a lion balloon, which I thought was really funny for some reason. Well, well. I think that truck might have been the one we saw earlier today. In fact, I'm almost certain of it.
Objection!
What? Just because it's blue? Like a million other trucks? What makes you so sure it's the exact same one? No, I saw it too. It's the same one for sure.
Objection!
Huh? What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? That wasn't me. Worthless are the words of a man who can't back up his claims with evidence. Wow, you sound just like him. Oh, that was supposed to be done in his voice. Show me. I demand proof. Must be able to prove it somehow. Time for your last spicy chicken yakisoba. Oh my god, I'm gonna get hungry. I had ramen for dinner from like a new place, and it was okay. It said it was volcano spicy ramen, and it was not spicy. At least not enough. Local ramen places I never have good luck with for some reason. It has to be like I have to be away from home to have good ramen. Maybe there's good ramen places down near Magfest next week. I gotta try that. Must be able to prove it somehow. It's the same truck, I'm sure of it. To mention how there's neat foreshadowing early in the case in Japanese. Mastermind is described as a curious person, and the word curious was with the kanji, which is also in Simeon's Japanese name. Oh, wow. Ramen me with fish cake bra. What? The fuck? Karma, what is that? What is that supposed to mean? Huh? What are you doing, Mr. Edgeworth? Why are you touching the truck? The engine's cold, which means it's been here for a while. No way, you could tell just from that? What can I use to prove it's the same truck? Luminol testing? No. Fingerprint dusting? Yeah, maybe? Metal? No. Not the metal. Obviously the truck's made of metal. I'd like to have the truck dusted for fingerprints. Huh? Why would you want to do that? Because I expect to find a very specific set of prints. And if I do, that will prove beyond all doubt that it's the truck we saw in front of the big building. Whose prints will prove it's on the truck that we saw? Oh, Edgeworth's. Yeah. He touched it. Yours? You think you're gonna find your own prints on there? I do, because I put my hand on your truck when we saw it in front of the big building. Call back to Ace Attorney 3 when Phoenix touched the vase. Uses metal detector. Yep, it's a metal truck. Let's see what we can find, shall we? Emma, could you lend us your scientific skills one more time? That's why I'm here. One moment, please. Alrighty. Take it away, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh? Me? Of course, we gotta add some more interactivity to this game, don't we? What else did you think was gonna do it? Don't worry, it's easy. I'll show you how. Fine. Although I don't see why you can't just do it yourself. So just to spread the powder over the area you want for results. To search for prints, like this. Moving the cursor around and pressing A will allow me to dust the area with more powder. Sticks to fingerprints, so once you found one, be sure to dump plenty on there. Then blow away the excess. Blow it away. Yeah, with your mouth. Ha, like that. Using the 3DS's microphone. Or the DS's microphone. Yeah, blow into the DS microphone. By the way, do you see the Switch 2 is likely going to have a microphone next to the cartridge slot? That means the return of blowing gimmicks in fucking games. Hell yeah. I'll show you how. Isn't it literally your job? Technically, no. She's still a student. Can say the reason you were spoiled was because you saw in all objection lines, and whoever made that was mean and included Simon's objection just now with his current sprite, despite the fact that it sounds identical to Edgeworth's. No, it doesn't. Only that one sounds identical to Edgeworth's. We heard this earlier. It's different. Yeah, the Switch 2 has a microphone next to the cartridge slot. At least that's what it looks like. It's a small, like, ovular, circle. Like the same, like, if you look at the 3DS and the DS's microphone, it's the exact same shape. So it's like that little rounded rectangle. So it's likely a microphone. Time to blow me, the game. God damn, Soma. The return of blowing gimmicks. Ooh, yes, Karma. Put your mouth directly on the microphone and ignore the air coming out of it. Yeah, but they included that one specifically mimicking Edgeworth. Wait, really? Okay. Blowing with X should remove any excess powder. Alright, you got all that? Yes, thank you. Now to try it for real. Oh, there's no such thing as too much powder, by the way. Go crazy. Dime a dozen. Also love that we're not even dusting anything specific. It's just literally a green screen. So we have an excuse to do this. This is the only time this comes up the entire, like, duology, doesn't it? Because in the first game, all you do is luminal testing. You don't do any fingerprint testing in real time. You just have forensics do it for you. That's it. It's a nice clean print you got there. Can we compare it to my prints right away? Yep, leave it to me. Only hardware gimmick we're missing now is a proper camera. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe the Joy-Con. Maybe the Joy-Con will have the camera on it, and it'll be like an actual camera this time, instead of just an infrared one. That confirms it. It's Mr. Edgeworth's fingerprint, all right. And with that, another lie's exposed. Gah! So what were you doing in the truck? Well, oh, just driving around. For fun, you know?
Objection!
It's like Shu Takumi's actual fingerprint or someone else's are part of the dev teams. I would imagine they wouldn't want to put their actual fingerprint in the game. Must measure in feet. Damn it, Soma. I love that meme. Nessie shows that one to me all the time. Kay was abducted 2 nights ago, and your balloon was sighted nearby. Then today, another abduction, this time involving a truck supposedly used to transport garbage. And your truck was sighted nearby.
Objection!
Objection! Coincidence, nothing more. You want me to believe that you were near the scene of 2 separate abductions simply by chance? Just be honest, you were involved in both. What makes you think they were even connected?
Objection!
A certain very important piece of evidence, that's what. Oh, this should be good. What connects Kay and Sean's abductions? 3 Z's.
Take that!
The sedative. Kay was drugged with a dose of powerful sedative, and a bottle of sedative was found right where Sean was being held captive. The very same brand, no less.
Objection!
Objection. I knew you'd try something like this. So the same sedative was used. So what? Does this mean everything's connected? Like Saul Goodman, Saul connected? You know as well as I do that doesn't prove anything for sure. Ah, must have something. There must be a piece of evidence that could tie him to both crimes. Cops, prosecutors, you, Miles, you're all the same at the end of the day. You force the evidence to fit the crime, or you flat out make it up. Just as long as somebody goes to jail. You're no different from a certain other evidence tamperer we've had the misfortune of meeting.
Objection!
No, I'm nothing like him.
Objection!
Then show me. Hit me with your killer piece of evidence. You must have one, right? It's no use. We don't have anything that could tie him directly to the both kidnappings. Okay. How you about done there, Miles? No more cheap shots left to fire? Great, well, I have a show to be rehearsing for, so if you don't mind.
Objection!
He's gaslighting so hard, so gassy, yeah. Hey, come on now, you two. There's no need to get all hot under the collar. Wouldn't want your good looks running down your face now, would we, Simon, old pal? What are you sticking your nose in for? Hey, I just sense the vibe getting a little harsh and heavy, yeah? Thought I ought to lighten the mood. Help me out here, Kay. Lift our spirits a little dose of old Great Thief magic. Like how you pronounce sedative 3 different ways in 15 seconds. Well, the third way I did was on purpose. It's sedative. I said sedative by mistake. Then when I said sedative, that was a joke. If you've ever watched what's his name, Joseph Anderson, I don't know who. I've never seen him before. I know he's a streamer. But recently I've been getting his Persona 4 streams from like 2021, like highlights from them recommended to me. And he would do that a lot. He would constantly mispronounce words on purpose. You love him? Really? I've never heard of him before like the other day. There's the compilation of him saying great vegetables from Persona 4 Golden. And then when a certain character gets in the hospital, someone in chat wrote great vegetable, and it made him crack up. He's so fucking funny, really. He does seem pretty interesting. He seems very casual, but like very entertaining at the same time. You don't have to tell me twice. Okay, let me see if I can do Simeon's voice. Here goes. Objection. What do you... Take this seriously, will ya? Yeah, I've seen that. There's a good Bugsnax video where he accidentally sequence breaks a bunch on his first playthrough. Really? I gotta watch more of him. I gotta follow him at some point. Thought you could do with somebody running a little interference for you, Milester. Not the most ethical approach, I know, but again, Kay, again! We can worry about whether or not this is the right thing to do later. This is my last chance to try to prove a connection between Mr. Saint and his crimes. Let's forget the kidnappings for now. Is there really anything else that suggests he's our mastermind? Of course. Canis was looking for our secret string puller too. The young pup, as he called him. If I could prove that Mr. Saint was the same young pup, then perhaps. But what evidence do I have that might point to him being involved behind the scenes? The scenes! The type letter, I guess. Isn't he also the guy that made the Super Mario Odyssey It's No Masterpiece video that got really popular and made so many people needlessly angry? I don't know. I've never, outside of the Persona 4 highlights, I've never seen anything from Joseph Anderson. But his streams were funny, so I might have to check more of his stuff out. That's right, our mastermind was involved in Canis and Knight's correspondence chess exchanges. If I could prove that Mr. Saint was the hidden intermediary... Intermediary? Nice, good job. Between the two of them. That's one for the typo collection. Alright, that's enough. This is getting painful. You don't have anything, and I have to practice for the show. So if you don't mind...
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Fender. I can take it from here. And I can't take any more of your interventions. Ooh, just look at that face. Yeah, I like it. Mazzarino's back in the game for sure. I'm Simon, the funny clown. Look at me. I'm, juggling. Okay, you could stop now. Mr. Saint, you're a fan of chess, I take it. Huh? Where did that come from? Chess? Sure, I don't hate it. Our secret string puller was playing correspondence chess with Mr. Canis, known from his Witcher series analyzations. So he's more than just a game player, huh? He does, like, actual, like, stuff. Chess is for nerds? Ouch. I happen to enjoy a good game of chess, even though I suck at it. Our secret string puller was playing correspondence chess with Mr. Canis.
Objection!
I thought Bronco was the one playing chess with Canis. You're saying he is your so-called mastermind?
Objection!
No, it wasn't him. Whoever it was went on manipulating events even after Knight's death. Take a look at this letter, if you would. Who do you think could have written it? It was the person who had inserted themselves in between Mr. Canis and Mr. Knight. And you think that person was me? You and me, chess, I'll beat your ass in. Wait, Summer, are you good at chess? Because you probably will. Why would I go to all that trouble? That's crazy. To make it appear that the two men were connected and communicating directly with one another. That's not even the right voice. I'm doing like just a silly clown voice now. Barely get through one hand of poker without feeling the life drain from you. Want to play chess with me? I was in chess club. Oh god. Soma, you just kick my ass on all accounts. You kick my ass in Pokemon cards. You'd kick my ass in chess. You'd probably kick my ass in regular Pokemon battles. Not to mention, you have a lot more physical strength than I probably do. Very fact that led Fifi Lagarde to murder him. What? What? You're saying he set that up to try and get Mr. Knight killed?
Objection!
Listen to yourself. What do you think I am? Some kind of evil puppet master? You've seen me. I can barely even get the animals to do what I want. And yet you just had 3 of them pile up on top of each other for you. We could find one of the letters he passed between Knight and Canis. That would prove the connection beyond a doubt. I'd like to have your room searched. If we find letters, you won't. Trust me. What? Once I'm done with something, I put it straight in the trash. Guess I'm not the sentimental type. Well, I get hung up on the past, right? Gah! Must have disposed of any incriminating items in order to cover his tracks. Guess you went in without the evidence you needed once again, huh? That's a bad habit, you know? So this doesn't prove anything either. We've fallen short yet again. What do we do now? Are we out of options? You accuse me of betraying my friend and you don't even have any proof? You're despicable! Look at everything else, but I just realized that the wrench in this emote is being held by her left hand. Isn't like a hair accessory, like you always thought it was. What the heck? Oh, in the in that, what is it? Vojillo? I don't even know what that means. Vojillo. That's a global emote. Who is that? Oh, hi. Miss Berry, what does she want? Sorry, it's just, I was thinking about what you were saying, and this Knight person, you mean Bronco, right? Simeon's friend? Yes, what of it? Does she know something? A letter came from him this morning, actually, for Simeon. What? What did you... How is that possible? Knight is dead. Miss Berry, we need to see this letter right away. Sure, here you go. Wow, that's illegal, actually. You can't just hand a civilian someone else's mail. That's actually a federal crime. I believe that's a felony if you do that. Especially since Edgeworth does not have his prosecutor's badge right now. Knight came down with a slight case of death, yeah. He's fine now. Let's open it up, shall we? It's another correspondence chess letter. So here's my next move. Pawn to g6. Can anybody else smell checkmate? Can't wait to see your face when you lose. But you're never going to beat me. Not at chess. Next move from the game with Mr. Canis. Can anybody else smell checkmate? Can't wait to see your face when you lose. But you were never going to beat me. Not at chess. It's postmarked the 26th of March. The day before Knight died. Guess it must have gotten held up en route. How convenient for us. I mean, the judge will allow it, and hey, Simeon did say he threw it away, so this mail could be for anyone. No, this is a new piece of mail that he didn't get yet. Well, we do move around a lot. It's part of being a traveling circus. Our mail arrives late all the time. Interesting, that's addressed directly to you, Mr. Saint. Gah! So wait, did Bronco Knight know that he was translating the letters to Canis? Oh, or did Bronco just think he was playing with Saint? That was it. Bronco didn't realize he was playing chess with Canis, didn't he? Also, that must really hurt those rabbits' ears to be squeezing them and hanging them by them. You're not supposed to actually hang a rabbit by its ears. Jesus. This is it, isn't it? The proof we needed that you were the one facilitating Mr. Canis and Mr. Knight's games. One of the letters you would have transcribed into Braille, in order to create the illusion that they were somehow connected. Curse you, Bronco! Still getting in my way even now! I hate you! I hate you! Simeon, how could you? Mr. Knight was your only friend. Huh, we weren't friends. He's gonna be turned into a rabbit for his crimes against rabbits, yeah. I stopped thinking he was my friend 18 years ago. Right around the time of the IS-7 incident, in other words. I nearly froze to death because of him. I was just about to head out and meet my dad at the contest. But then Bronco showed up. He pinned me down and tied me up. He was crying the whole time, whining on and on. I'm sorry, but my dad says I have to do this, and if I don't do what he says, he's so scary. Stop it, Bronco, stop it. I have to go meet my dad, I promised. If I'm not there to taste his candy for him, he'll be so upset. He needs me. If I don't go, he won't be able to show everybody he's the best in the world. But no, he locked me in a car with him, and the two of us nearly died. Or as the IS-7 incident as the IRS incident. God. He thought he could get out, but when he tried the door, it was frozen shut. We were both trapped. And that's how I lost my dad. What? You lost your dad? Yeah, Bronco's dad killed mine. He was the son of a murderer. What does he mean? That doesn't match up what we know at all. Simeon, the victim in the IS-7 incident, was a guy named Artie Frost. Yeah, that was my dad's name. My memories got kind of scrambled that day. What little I remembered was pretty mixed up. So I didn't find out until later that my dad was murdered. The murderer was a man named Carmelo Gusto, a confectioner. Really? Never knew Bronco's father's name. Maybe I chose not to remember. Just thinking about that sicko that killed my dad turns my stomach. Mr. Saint, are you sure you didn't know the name of the murderer until just now? Heh, you think I'd sit on it if I did? No, I'd have reported him to the police straight away. All I knew was that Bronco's dad tricked my dad. And that's how I knew my dad was the one who was killed that day. Bronco was a traitor. He helped his father murder mine. He was the son of a cold-blooded killer. He deserved to die.
Objection!
In other words, all four of these people in this family, in these two families, are kind of shit for brains. Kind of just big assholes. I'm sorry, Mr. Saint, but you made a mistake. A big one. A mistake? What do you mean? Artie Frost was a sculptor. He'd been working in France not so long before the murder, under the name Paul Halik. So I hear, but I don't remember anything about that. Wish I could. Well, I'm afraid to say it's only natural you don't because he wasn't your... Well, I'm afraid it's only natural to say that you don't, because he wasn't your father. Ever on and on he continues circling, yes. Huh? Is this your idea of a joke? Well, it's not funny. Not at all. You're right, it's not. But you need to know the uncomfortable truth. This piece of evidence proves that you're not Artie Frost's son.
Take that!
Huh? Bronco's chess set. And a ring? Yes, take a look at the ring for me if you would. What does the engraving on it tell you? It's 2 letters, right? It is. This is the seal with which Paul Halik used to mark his works. And it was found next to Artie Frost's body 18 years ago. But why would Bronco have a memento of my own father? The police looked for Frost's son for a long time, and eventually, they found him. The ring was handed over to the man they were able to prove was his child, Bronco Knight. What? But that's not... That would mean I was... Precisely. That you are, in fact, the son of Carmelo Gusto. No, that can't be! I'm... My dad was... I remember, don't I? Well, now we see why Simon's turned out so fucked up. Bronco tied me up and locked me in that car. It was his fault I lost my dad. He deserved to die, didn't he? No way, so I get to see your circus thing even though I'm in jail? Heh, was looking forward to my next move in our little chess game, so the show is just the icing on the top. Yeah, think you'll enjoy it. I will. And hey, come back soon, okay? I'll be mulling over my next move in the meantime. Oh, speaking of which, I put a little something in your chess set. But you could take a look at it later. A little something? No idea what that might be, but thanks. If you hadn't detained me 18 years ago, it wouldn't have had to end like this. Huh? Did you say something? Me? Oh, it was nothing. Goodbye, Bronco, and farewell. I did all that, and now you're telling me that it was my father who killed Bronco's? It's sad, because Bronco clearly thought Simon was still his friend, when this whole time he was plotting against him. That sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't erase what Bronco did. To be fair, though, out of the 4 of them, but I guess Artie Frost didn't murder anyone, so he's kind of the best, but let's be honest, Bronco comes in a very close second, given what he'd considering everything. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gusto's probably still the worst of the 4 of them, but Saint, obviously, you know, has done a lot more shit here. It's kind of hard to rank them. So you gotta rank them on morality, and it's, like, impossible to do that. Then what was all this for? I didn't want to wind up dead, too. I didn't want to be weak and vulnerable. That's why I tried to be like Canis. Why I stayed in touch with him all these years. And there we have it, the truth at last. Mr. Saint, you were Mr. Canis' correspondence chess partner. And you were the one manipulating events this whole time. You're right, it was me. It was me all along. At last, he's finally telling the truth. I was the one who witnessed the murder 12 years ago, but you knew that already. The president's assassination, just as we thought. Body count of chess pieces, yeah. Which means he's the one who drew this picture. And they knew it, too. That's why. All his monkeys, all his circus, yep. He's the ringleader. Lagarde kept questioning me, day in and day out. It got so I couldn't face what I knew was the next day would bring. Yeah, I was a nervous wreck. Who could blame me for wanting to get out of there? But I imagine it wasn't easy simply running away. Winter would have sent his men after you. No matter where I went, they were on me. They never stopped coming, and they don't stop coming, and they never stopped coming. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, except February 29th. That day I could relax and jerk off in peace. Couldn't sleep at night. Even the smallest noise had me chasing shadows. Drove me crazy. So I joined the circus. At least that way, moving from place to place was part of the job. Just so happens that you happen to show up back in this town again. Ears, mouth, and eyes, the 3 monkeys, yep. And then also the hands behind the back to signify don't do no evil or don't masturbate. He has poses match all of them. Because he got his hands on his mouth, his hands on his ears, and his hands over his eyes. My whole life I've been up against the chief prosecutor and the warden of a prison. No regular person could hope to stand up to people like that. From the time I was a child, I had nobody. Never knew what the back one. It's an uncommonly used one. Think no evil? No, Karma, you're thinking of think nothing ever again. That's the back one. Well, it's do no evil, I believe. It means that you're not engaging in it yourself. I think there's some kind of I said the masturbation thing is a joke, but I do think there's some sort of correlation with having the hands behind the back and signifying not masturbating. Or maybe that's just the old-fashioned thing about having your hands above the covers at all times. I don't know. But they weren't the worst of it. The body double was behind it all, controlling everything. The monkeys were actually related to turning a blind eye. Originally they were. Fascinating subject, yeah. He may have been a fake, but he was the president of an entire country. What hope did I fucking have? There was only one person I could turn to. Canis. The man who saved my life. He wasn't like Bronco. He really did want to help me. That's quite a claim. Strange to think of our famously ruthless assassin winning the admiration of the child he saved. He showed me how to stop being a victim, to stop being hunted. And become a hunter myself, and they all became prey. By the way, this is his theme song, which is also the title of our stream. It's the man who masterminds the game is his real theme song. I made it the 1 just because I didn't want to reveal the gender right away. So this is an excellent final boss theme. Adding the fuck there really sold it, yeah. I try not to insert too much, but when I do, it's usually very pleasurable. But I doubt you've even imagined the body double would even go so far as to co-opt our country's police. No, I sure didn't. And as long as Winter was around, no evidence was ever going to stand. The one who masturbates the game. God damn it. We have to get off this topic. Just like I got off. Never mind. Speaking of which, Off comes out on Switch this year. I might play Off, and I might beat Off. And I might beat Off with friends. That'll be great, beating Off. Mentioned before the upcoming breakdown being the most technically difficult animation of program. Okay. Scroll animation, juggling animation is technically 2 character sprites overlaid on top of one each other. So his mouth can move independently of them. Oh, nice. I figured it was a separate sprite. Yeah. Even nearly managed to ruin things this morning. Lagarde almost got away with it again. But I know him now like the back of my hand. I could see exactly how this was all going to go down. More people need to know about Off. Yeah, Off is a really fun... Well, it's a really interesting indie game. I've never played it, but I've seen enough of it to know. I've seen most of it. So we saw right through their plan. How Chairman Winter would try to suppress the evidence in Warden Lagarde's trial. I see, and that's what you kidnapped... And that's why you kidnapped Sean, correct? You want to force a guilty verdict regardless of the presence of evidence or the rule of law.
Objection!
Maybe I did, but who else was going to make them pay for what happened 12 years ago? Whatever helps you sleep at night. But Winter pulled one last surprise, didn't he? He tried to kidnap Sean himself in the hopes of influencing the verdict. Sean the sheep? Sean the cow? Sean the cowboy? Because he's got cow horns. In other words, you chose the exact same course of action as the man you so fervently claim to hate.
Objection!
That's only if I'd actually kidnapped anyone at all. But I'd never do anything so wicked. Never ever. Me? Commit a crime? No, 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 no. And besides, I don't hate the three of them. If anything, I'm grateful. If they hadn't done what they did, my revenge wouldn't have nearly been as fun.
Objection!
So you admit it. Your motive in all this was nothing more than revenge. Sure, I admit it. So what? Despised every single one of them. But here's the kicker. I didn't kill anybody. The most you could blame me for is writing the odd letter here and there. A quick note to Ringer to tell her about Winter. Another to him so he knew about her. But the fact that they wanted to kill each other and one of them succeeded, that was all on them. So you take no responsibility for the fact that your actions resulted in multiple murders. Right. Same thing at Gourd Lake. People are much easier to control than animals, you know? The whole fake assassination plot, I handed that to Bronco on a plate. That was part of his plan too. So Rook's murder was...
Objection!
Well, no, actually. That was all Bronco's idea. Nothing to do with me at all. Still, it moved things in the right direction, wouldn't you say? Didn't fate a crazy thing. You can't talk about that. You can't talk like that about a murder. Yeah, me commit a felony? Ooh, woo, no. So if I accidentally stabbed a guy, it was just an oopsie-whoopsie. Well, no, that's the thing. He has done nothing, at least so far, that we can prove wrong. Like, in terms of being illegal, all he did was tell Bronco to fake an assassination plot. He sent letters to Rosie Ringer. He sent letters to Excelsius. And he kidnapped Kay to try to frame her for Rosie's murder. So I mean, while he hasn't been completely legal, he technically has not killed anyone, at least not to our knowledge so far. So we can't really bust him for murder at this point. Setting Lagarde up was easy too. Just made it seem like Knight and Canis were in contact with each other, and slipped this chisel inside the chess set. So it was you who put it in there. Yeah, it was. Thought it might point everybody nicely in Canis' direction. Worked out pretty well, even if I do say so myself. Even if I do say... That's not correct. There shouldn't be the word even in there. I would say even worked out pretty well if I do say so myself. Sorry, I have like dead skin on the edge of my elbow here. It's really irritating me. You know, it would be all it took to make that awful woman murder poor Bronco. Guess she got to where she just saw enemies everywhere she looked. I know the feeling. Even the smallest thing can send your paranoia into overdrive. And then, things get ugly quickly. I had a front row seat for the whole show. You were the last piece to be put into play, of course. Who, me? You solved both cases and finally brought down Winter and Lagarde. Guess you could say your powers of deduction were the weapon that put an end to them both.
Objection!
I didn't solve the cases for your sake. Sure, but you didn't know you were doing me a favor. You were just playing at being an attorney for a little while, right? What did you say? All I had to do was cower and say no, 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 no a few times. And you rode to my rescue like the hero you are. Was getting arrested part of your plan too? No, that wasn't something I expected, I have to admit. Never thought they'd take the chisel for the murder weapon. That was the real plot twist. Made my blood run cold for sure. But then who should come through with the turnabout to end all turnabouts? The greatest legal mind of his generation, my knight in shining armor. Bet it felt pretty good saving me like that, huh? You ought to thank me, you know? I don't do that for many people. You're wrong. He wasn't playing at being an attorney. He was trying to help you, because helping people is what Mr. Edgeworth does. He helped me right when I needed it most. Kay. Aw, did he? You're sure he wasn't just trying on his dear departed daddy's shoes for size? No, that's not what he was doing. Come on, K-Meister, don't let this clown get you down. He's projecting, plain and simple, painting the other folks with his own grubby brush. Not just that he doesn't trust other people. Poor kid doesn't even understand the concept of trust. Mr. Knight, drop the princess off the horse. Doing so for somebody else's sake? Forget about it. He'll never understand. Forget about it. Cold as ice, yeah. Think I care what you have to say about me? Consider this for a second. Got my revenge on everybody I set out to get it from, and yet... Can't prove I incited anything. Think about it. Never actually did anything. What's my crime exactly? Explain it to me. Kidnapping. Think I can pin the incitement charge on me? Read my letters. I don't mention murder anywhere. If I did, maybe you'd have a case. Maybe you could say I encouraged them. But it's the same story as always, I'm afraid. You can't prove I did anything at all. That's not true. You kidnapped me. Sorry, but did I miss the part where you proved that? All I ever admitted to was sending letters. Letters which didn't threaten, coerce, or encourage anybody to do anything. I just passed on what you might call pertinent information. Gah, he's a slippery one, I'll give him that. There's gotta be something we can do. What about this? Excitement stuff he's talking about. Incitement, K, means to encourage or direct another person to commit a crime. In the eyes of the law, it's seen as equivalent to committing the crime itself. So we just need to prove that he told them to do it. You say that like it's going to be easy. Guess maybe you're not so big on due process after all. You think you can make me carry the can for murders I had nothing to do with? Think again. Excitement letters, you say? I don't even have to talk to you if I don't want to. In fact, why am I still talking to you?
Not so fast!
Can think of one reason. The tent is surrounded. There's no one left to run. Really? You don't think I planned my escape too? I'm gonna ride this cat out of here. You hate Fender's hairstyle, afro or bowl cut. Pick one. The other you want to have, you cabbage ass milady saying dum dum. What the fuck, Karma? I like his hairstyle. I like the frizzy hair. He's got a fedora on top of it. What if, just a plucking idea out of nowhere, I trained all these vicious wild beasts to attack on command, for example? All I have to do is say the word, then sidle off the stage in the chaos. What? You wouldn't. I'm just spitballing. But you'd pay to see that, wouldn't you? Could just as easily take Sean hostage with the gun I may or may not have in my pocket. Yeah, you know what? That would make for a killer show. You will do no such thing. It's hard to know what lengths he might actually be prepared to go to. But knowing what we know about him already, we've prepared for the worst. Fine, I'll humor you, but once the curtain goes up on this little performance, it better be a lively one. Bore me and we're done here, alright? Let's see if you could keep me entertained, shall we? Ugh, he's not going to give me an inch. But there must be something we could do. We can't let his crimes go unpunished.
Hold it!
You encouraged others to commit murder, and those murders were duly committed. And I can prove it. You will be punished just as if you had done the deed yourself. Yeah, what's the word for it again? I forgot already. Incitement, K. Chairman Winter, Warden Lagarde, and Bronco Knight. All were criminals in their own rights, and all committed unforgivable acts. But all were induced to commit these acts by somebody behind the scenes. This man right here. You really don't hold back, do you, Miles? But it doesn't change anything. Extra magical law damage, yeah.
Hold it!
Nowhere at all? What, you didn't look? I could give you a minute if you like. He's clearly confident that I won't find anything. Must have planned those letters down to the last word. Look, I don't want to teach you how to do your job, but if you can't prove I encouraged them to commit those murders... No, his gravitas. Yeah. That's how Harvey Birdman says it in the game. He goes, no, not my precious gravitas. It's gravitas. But if you can't prove I encouraged them to commit those murders, your incitement charge goes up in smoke. That's too bad. So sad, huh, Miles?
Hold it!
I know for a fact that you made those murders happen. There's something I need to tell you. Truth is, I was the one who made Big Bad Sherman Winter kill Little Miss Rosie Ringer. What? Prince of Toast. Wait, what? What about Toast? You told me yourself.
Objection!
Objection! Did I? And can you prove it? If you can't, this ends here. Just ask yourself, could this sweet innocent boy have done the things you're saying? No. Hate to admit it, but he's right. Without proof, we have nowhere to go with this. We can only prove what he said on that phone call. That's the same story as always, I'm afraid. Can't prove I did anything at all. I think we have proof. Miss Lloyd's tape, recording of signals that were intercepted from the bug that was planted on Case Pin.
Objection!
Wrong statement. Mr. Saint, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at this. What is this, Miles? You don't see it? The real meaning of what's in front of you. Nope, I don't. And let's be honest. Neither do you. Oof, that must have been wrong. Don't let him dictate the pace, Mr. Edgeworth. You're right, I think I let my guard down for a moment there. Had a bit of a mini-stroke. But I won't make the same mistake twice. Here it comes, Mr. Saint. Open your mouth. That's the spirit. I'll get ready to swipe the truth right out of his hands.
Hold it!
The same story as always. What do you mean by that? What does that matter? That's not important here. You know it's important, right? That you can prove nothing. Nothing! Until we have some way of showing that he's guilty, we're just going to continue floundering. Either I thrust items of evidence in front of him and hope for the best, or I go over it all one more time. Whichever method I choose, proof is the only way we're going to get anywhere here. He confessed to me over the telephone. He told me he was the one who made Chairman Winter kill Rosie Ringer. Just need to find a piece of evidence that proves what he said in that call. I think it's the same evidence, just this statement, which is kind of annoying because the last statement seemed like it'd be the right one.
Objection!
There we go. I'm afraid you're wrong, and I have the proof that I have proof that you meant that for at least one murder to happen, because you said so yourself. I said that? Weird. I don't remember. I know you think you can worm your way out of everything, but this time you're wrong. I am? Yes, because our conversation was being recorded. By somebody intercepting the signal from the very listening device you planted. It was? Got your conversation with the clown here on tape? That's what you're trying to tell us? No! Like Z says, Schemer's schemes will swallow him in the end. Miss Lloyd, could you play us the tape, please? You bet I can. Got it. Was this part right here? Mr. Edgeworth, that's Judge Gavel's cell phone. Who is this? You're the one who abducted Kay. I can't hear Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry. It was right around here. I was as surprised. Huh? That's weird. Is something wrong, Miss Lloyd? Even has the ringtone, yeah. I'll say. Seems we maybe, didn't quite catch the next part on tape. Ahem. What? Why? How could it not be on there? Aw, poor babies. You think I'd leave myself wide open like that? I'll think again. There's something little special about this bug, you see. It can be turned on and off remotely. What? I never knew they make those. Remote control bugs. Sure they exist, but... So you switched it off to avoid being recorded. Bingo!
Objection!
Enough mind games, Simeon Sinner. Your sentence will be thoroughly considered, and as the great judge is my witness, sort of justice shall be your end. Hell yeah. That's what Verity Gavel would say. But how? You would have had to know you were being recorded in the first place.
Objection!
Objection. And I did, of course I did. It was so obvious someone was eavesdropping, and that's because Miss Lloyd, was it? You knew about the prosecutor's kidnapping without any prompting. No. You heard the whole conversation? I did indeed, old pal, but I must say, I thought you would have figured it out much sooner. Aren't you supposed to be a genius prosecutor? Ugh. Now, where were we again? Oh yeah, at the part where if I couldn't prove incitement, it was game over. Oh well. Ugh. Oh shucks, so my tape ain't gonna be oh news to nobody at all? After all? Come on, I must have recorded something you could use. Oh, that were true. Hey, K-Meister. Yeah? The old buggeroo. It was hidden in your pin that whole time, right? That shake anything loose from the old brain tree? I don't know, give me a second. You're the only one who's been directly in contact with them before. Wow, Franziska's saying her first word all day.
Objection.
So sad, relying on flawed evidence, desperately trying to make it stick. Well, that's quite enough for that for now. Next topic, please. Huh? He's trying to steer us away from our current line of inquiry. Yes, thank you, George, for remembering that line that just happened 2 seconds ago. Kay had a one-to-one encounter with them only recently. What if the sound from that point in time had been recorded? Miss Lloyd, how long were you recording the interceptions from the bug for? Started about, let's see, now, 2 nights back? In which case, during which time frame would have been we would have been likely to find Mr. Saint's voice in that tape? 2 nights ago. Mr. Saint abducted Kay and took her up to the roof of the big building 2 nights ago. What if there was a recording from around that time? Miss Lloyd, quickly, play us the tape from last night before last. And the night before last. Huh? Oh, sure thing. That's the sound of the balloon. Indeed it is. Around that time, I imagine Mr. Saint would have been transporting you in it. Which means you can't have been too far away from you, or the bug. Is there anything else on the recording, I wonder? Wait, that noise! That was a gunshot! Zzz, bzz. Heh, you turned off the bug then, too, it seems. Unluckily for you, you were a little late in doing so. There's no escaping it now. That gunshot ties you directly to the case. Huh? What are you talking about? Nobody ever even mentioned a gun. He's wrong. Somebody involved with this case discharged a firearm. Just need to remember who it was and present the piece of evidence that proves it. Which piece of evidence shows that a gun was used in an incident related to this case? Gunshot residue detected on Dijun Wang's body double's right hand. Also, it still says President Wang's autopsy report, even though it's the body doubles.
Take that!
It's written right here in the President's autopsy report. Traces of gunshot residue were detected on his hand. Erk! So it was Kay when the gunshot was recorded. That's right, she was in the balloon being taken by you to the top of the big building. However, the roof wasn't as deserted as you needed it to be. Yes, I was there with the President. Wait, not long after we started talking, he noticed something and told me to leave. And if a gunshot rang out shortly after that? Don't tell me you didn't hear it yourself, Mr. Saint. That one sounds crystal clear in this recording. You're just going to pretend to ignore me? What else do you expect me to do when you keep spouting your weird theories?
Not so fast!
You mean just hear a gunshot on that tape? Listen carefully, you can hear the bullet hit something too. Could the President have been aiming for Mr. Saint? Or would the bullet have struck? The balloon, obviously.
Take that!
I think the President was firing at the balloon. And if he was, what we heard on the tape could have been the bullet hitting the basket. Let's take a look and see, shall we? Weird that we never got to examine this before now. Let's look over the sides of the basket, just in case. Another shot at a balloon, yeah. Alright, I'll start from over here. Hey, what are you doing just standing there? Help him too, will you? Yes, Shifu. Huh, nothing. How about over there? Side's clean, not even a speck of dirt. But I'm right about this, I know I am. Need to think about what the sound it made when it hit. It's like it's hit something harder than the wicker part of the basket. Like metal, in fact. There's a super long rope curled up at the bottom of the basket here. Look it over. There's signs of it having been struck by a bullet. On it. Hey, Mr. Blacksuit, take the other end, will ya? Yes, ma'am. Nothing here. Or here. Nope, looks clean. Nothing here either. Huh. Guess this wasn't what it hit. Let's move on and find out what it did. A hole with a bullet stuck in it. There's a bullet hole in the bottom of the basket. I'd call that pretty conclusive proof. Saint is in charge of it and drives around the back of the truck. Hot air balloon. Oh, it didn't even change the description. Ugh. Well, Mr. Saint, how do you explain not just the sound on the tape, but the accompanying bullet hole? You see everything, don't you? It's pretty impressive, I have to admit. I doubt there's anything I could hide from you if you really wanted to find it. Just shut up and confess, will you? Alright, alright. No need to get cranky. What really happened 2 nights ago? I'll admit I flew the balloon up to the roof, but when I arrived, Judge Gavel and the President were already there. That came as a surprise, I have to say. Only the President noticed me, and he made the good judge leave right away. That's Henry Stickmin shooting, That's not Henry Stickmin, that's that YouTuber. Or that animator is a Sticksham, yeah, Sticksham shooting a pea balloon, that's good. Really wish my chat overlay, like, when I hit it, like, automatically brought up messages instead of only messages that show up afterwards. Also, the chat overlay would be awful right now, because, yeah, it's going to show up on the text. If someone shoots a pea balloon, what happens? Man, this fucker's relentless, so desperate, yeah. I would imagine the magical inflation powers would spread out everywhere and infect everyone in a nearby radius. That's just wishful thinking, though. Then he pointed a gun at me and fired. Why was he trying to shoot down the balloon? Oh, that's simple enough. When I arrived, he was just about to murder your friend, the judge, there. Me? Yeah, you. You told him about Sean. What did you think would happen? Why do you also think he met with you in the first place? He thought you were going to expose him as an imposter. Because she knew the truth about Sean's parentage. He was afraid. Huh, afraid? Yeah, you could say that. Man was a total coward. His hands were shaking so much when he tried to get rid of me, he couldn't even shoot straight. So you see, just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was an innocent bystander. So his story is that he just happened to witness the events on the roof from the balloon. If Simon hadn't come along when he did, Judge Gavel might have been in some serious trouble. So he's basically her savior, right? I don't think it's quite that simple. After all, he was there to commit a crime too. But in order to expose that crime, we'll need to first go over his testimony in detail. Must be a hole in it somewhere.
Hold it!
Imposter sauce a mongoose. What the hell? Around what time would that have been? Just after 11, I think? That's when you and your pal went up to the roof, right, Your Honor? Yes, it was. No contradictions there, but the fact that we've confirmed the time is important nonetheless. Because I arrived when I did...
Hold it!
So you didn't expect to find the two of them there? Of course not, why would I? But it's lucky you got there when I did. We all know what would happen if I'd been there any later. He was just about to try and kill you, Gavel. You really didn't suspect a thing? I'm afraid I did not. I had no idea. Maybe you shouldn't have blabbed to him about the kid. You ever think of that? I was merely trying to... What kind of mother are you? You're lucky he didn't kill you and then go after the boy!
Objection!
I'm your opponent here, not just Gavel. Now leave her alone and tell us what you need to know. Sus among us? Yeah...
Among us!
For good measure. Or no, Taco Bell. Oh, Your Honor, I'll take it from here. I'm in your debt, Mr. Edgeworth, as is Sean. I trust that you will look after us both. And I pray that the goddess of justice will watch over us all. Your precious goddess didn't even warn you there was a balloon right behind you!
Hold it!
He made her leave, but why? Wasn't he planning to kill her? Sure, but I'll bet he didn't want to do it in front of witnesses. Murderers don't tend to like that. She still didn't know he wasn't the real president, right? His secret was safe for the time being. And now that he knew about Sean... Hey, Calico Crew, thank you for the follow. He could kill both of them whenever he wanted. You two got lucky when he died, huh? Why the frowns? I'd be smiling ear to ear if I were you. I don't think anybody will be smiling until this matter's been cleared up once and for all. So please, continue if you will. Your wish is my command. Where were we? Oh yeah, that coward of a fake president. Guess a witness suddenly appeared in the sky must have shaken him up pretty badly and he panicked.
Hold it!
You're lucky that the bullet only struck the bottom of the basket. Yeah, I tried to get out of there the second he pulled out that gun. Couldn't have my balloon going pop. But it was a close run thing. So you left right then and there. Of course I did. He was shooting at me. You saying there's a problem with that? Does that present a problem? In the end, you managed to leave Kay there on the rooftop, which means you didn't actually leave the vicinity, did you? Oh yeah, guess I forgot to tell you the next part. After he shot me, he escaped through the hatch to the 51st floor. Hung around a little longer to make sure the coast was clear, and then I landed on the roof. Would you mind appending that statement to your testimony? Makes no difference to me. Makes no difference to me. After he shot at me, he escaped to the hatch to the 51st floor.
Hold it!
The hatch that leads to the storeroom where the items for the underground auction were kept. The auction? My memories are still a bit fuzzy, but the auction was 2 days ago, right? Indeed. The auction was being held on the 50th floor that day. And a bunch of people were going in and out of the storeroom while it was happening, yes? They were, which means that if the president really did escape that way, as Mr. Saint says, somebody must have seen him, or somebody must have seen him. There's no way he could have passed through there undetected. Problem is the time at which the event occurred. But should the times line up, I think that could prove a certain piece of evidence that could prove helpful to our case. So a story that he just happened to witness the events on the roof from the balloon. If Simeon hadn't come along when he did, Judge Gavelle might have been in more serious trouble. We already know that. What do we have about 11 p.m. here? Miss Hart's testimony. She didn't see the president pass through. Because we surmised that he might have escaped through that earlier. But Miss Hart, a lot of Hart said that's not possible. She didn't see him. You're lying to us again. I am. The president never entered the storeroom the night before last. Miss Hart testified to the fact. What? And you believe the word of a 2-bit hack over mine? I beg your gosh dang pardon. Say that about the chief again, I dare you. Wipe that smile off of your stupid clown face. All happened because Gumshoe created a mascot. No. This all happened because Paul Halik was a douchebag to his partner in crime. Because of Paul Halik, or Artie Frost, betraying Carmelo Gusto, the IS-7 happened, DL6 happened, SS5 happened. I mean, I guess SS5 was going to happen regardless, but it didn't happen with Simeon there as a witness. Literally, the entire Ace Attorney series in present day is because a chef was a douchebag back in 2000, in the year 2000, and tried to kidnap his co-worker's son. So we know Hart was camped out on the 51st floor that entire evening. But if our fake president didn't escape through there, then how the heck did he get off the roof? An excellent question, and one that I hope to provide the answer to next. We know that he didn't leave via the elevator, so neither that nor the hatch are possibilities. Which leaves only one possible way of escaping the rooftop. How did the president leave the rooftop if it wasn't via the elevator hatch? I mean, once again,
take that!
It's the lion balloon. He flew. He flew? Yes, in Mr. Saint's balloon.
Objection!
Whoa, quit fooling around, will ya? Why in the world would I give that guy a lift in my balloon?
Objection!
There was a security camera on the elevator, and Miss Hart was on the 51st floor the whole time. There's no other way he could have left that rooftop.
Objection!
You know what the circus is all about. Making the audience think you're in danger. Giving them a thrill. But it's time to bring this act to an end. I'm not in danger here, even if you think I am. What do you mean? Watch and learn. Miss Hart, can I ask you something? You were keeping guard around the 51st floor the whole time, right? Not even blinking for a moment? You bet your big toe I was. I done said so as much of my testimony.
Objection!
Huh. So the noise, the sound of Miles' faithful assistant falling through the hatch. That didn't scare you so badly that you fainted? Uh-oh. I should have mentioned this, but I passed out. I fell asleep for a few winks after that. Well, passed out. Unconscious, you might say. What? What happened? That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Miss Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor. What? Well, so what if I did? Ain't a girl in the world don't get caught a little unawares sometimes. Sorry, Miles, but that's what you get for putting your faith in these people.
Objection!
Doesn't matter. Kay can't have fallen down the hatch until after the president left the roof.
Objection!
You sure about that? Allow me to offer a little counter theory. The coward-faked president fired his gun at me. Then he hid in the shadows until after your friend fell down the hatch. So what if he did? What would that mean?
Objection!
Come now, surely even you could see what I'm insinuating here. It's elementary. If the president hid until after Miss Hart fainted, he could have passed right through the 51st floor undetected. No. And there we have it. Your little theory about the secret storeroom falls apart. No! Did he have to do that to me in my own voice? That's right. And one other thing. Might have let Sean's identity slip to our pal the president while he was hiding in the shadows. That's why he went to the set to try to murder him the next day, only to wind up being killed himself. That's right. It was Sean who murdered the body double.
Objection!
Possible reason could the boy have had for doing so?
Objection!
Oh, a pretty good one. You already knew he was the president's son. And how did he discover that exactly? Sorry, 1 second. Bleh. Because I told him in one of my trademark letters. So the statements were green. There are weak points in this statement. No, I think the green statements he was just giving before were him mimicking Edgeworth. Sorry, I was just checking on something. I've recently gotten another YCH, and just wanted to make sure that the person got my my shit for it. What? He's lying. Oh, you bet I am. Huh? Or am I? Maybe I did tell him, and maybe I didn't. Why put Edgeworth in green? Because he was mimicking someone, specifically. He was throwing his voice. This guy's a bullshitter? Yeah. He's not just the clown. He's the entire circus. As they say. Oh, Shawnee boy, which is it? It was my fault that Torsour's head fell off that roof. I admitted that much already. But I didn't find out my dad until today, I swear. Huh, well. Knew about the falling head thanks to the bug. But who knew it was you who made it fall? And the president died from being crushed, was it? Alright, well that's confirmed at least. You're the murderer. Congrats on getting your revenge. That ties up everything pretty neatly, wouldn't you say? Although I guess you'd say something more like, and so the pieces fall into place at last. Well, counter my unassailable logic if you can. Murder of the so-called president. You know my MO by now, right? I'm a hands-off kind of guy. I just like to pull a few strings here and there. That was the case with Bronco, with Chairman Winner. So what makes you think I'd let that fake president set foot on my balloon? His haboom. Besides, I thought he was crushed to death by that model monster head. And who said old Torsaurus' head not gonna fall, It all makes perfect sense. That's about how our imposter wound up dead, no doubt about it. And what was the motive behind the murder? The little truth I just shared. Just like I said. Get it? The truth? That thing you're so fond of? That's what caused the murder here, not me. No, that's not possible. Well, is there a detective in the house? Somebody arrest that boy! Can't help noticing nobody rushing to slap on the handcuffs. What's the matter? Ugh, curse you! Just as I thought. Admit it, you're all the same. You, Winner, that idiot phony president. You want the real culprit to go free so you could railroad me into a jail cell, don't you? That's the justice you all claim to love so much. You only love it when you could twist it to suit your needs. Human me, time to possess him. Karma, to be fair, I was using the human form this entire game. You weren't around most of the time.
Overruled.
Overruled. What's this? Oh, that's a Twitch clip I had earlier. No, that's not true.
Objection.
Objection. Well, if you're not going to make the move, guess I'll have to step outside and speak to an officer myself. Once I tell them the kid here's a murderer, maybe then they'll finally do something.
Objection!
We're not done with your testimony yet, Mr. Saint. How did I know you make some excuse for stalling even longer? But you still don't have any proof, do you? Or any chance of winning this? Tell me I'm wrong. And yet you still want to prolong that agony. Well, as long as you know what you're doing. Quadruple penalty. Oh no. He's not holding back. What? Did you forget that little Shawnee's life is on the line too? Hey, Mazzarino. Take a deep breath, would you? Whoa. Take a deep breath for me, would you? Why would I do that, Mr. Fender? Because it's times like these you need to kick back, take stock, and be grateful for what you have. The worst of times when lawyers calmly show their biggest smiles, remember? The way in which the president made his escape is what you laughing boy can't agree on. So how about this for a little thought experiment? What if it's not about whether the big guy in the purple jacket got on that balloon or not? Or rather, under what conditions would Simeon have been cool with letting him get on board? Turnabout in thinking. Forgive the interruption, just my 2 cents worth. Or your old man's, guess I should say. Maybe Gregory's techniques can still prove useful in this crazy modern era. He's right. Under what circumstances could the body double have been allowed on the balloon? He was a physically imposing man, and what's more, he was carrying a gun. Could he have been drugged? No, there were no traces of sedatives found during his autopsy. In which case, surely not. You about ready to continue, Miles? And don't forget, this is what we're playing for. This is going to be tricky, but I have to tear his testimony down one statement at a time. Do we? Can I just accuse him of murdering him?
Hold it!
The strings in question belong to those of Sean and the president's body double in this case. You seem to be pretty confident of your abilities in that particular arena. Is that so weird? I'm an animal tamer, remember? And what's the wildest animal of them all? That's right, humans. Before they wander into the magical cursed forest and turn into animals. These three were all former performers in the circus before they got turned into animals. Didn't take much to get those two dancing to my tune. A little truth here, a little hint of revenge there. Somebody ought to thank me. I did this world a favor. Mr. Edgeworth, he's scaring me. Don't let him get under your skin, Kay. We have to stay strong. This man sowed the seeds of another's revenge in order to achieve his own. It's our duty to stop him, and we will succeed in that duty. Why do people do bad things, huh? Don't they really think it? Don't they realize it'll just come back to bite them in the end? Jeez, it's Circe all over again. Hell yeah. So glad you know about Circe, Soma. I mean, I wouldn't imagine you didn't, but she's kind of an idol in the TF community. This was the case with Bronco, with Chairman Winter. And so you insist you had no direct involvement in any of what occurred. What can I say? I don't like to get my hands dirty. Sure do love to watch the action unfold, though. All those idiots desperately trying to kill one another. They don't even know I lit the fuse. Love it! Ha! You haven't changed. All you did 12 years ago was watch too. You're talking about the old SS5 thing? Ah, stop it. Your poor papa, scrabbling around for answers and finding nothing. Shucks. What do they call it again? Oh yeah, rank incompetence. Ugh! How dare you! Agent Lang, please. You don't know the half of it, you damned clown! Your father may not have closed out the case, not publicly anyway, but it was thanks to his work that we're standing here right now. Sorry to butt in, Miles, but your little pep talk isn't going to magically solve this case. Now I know you have your theories. So what makes you think I'd let that fake president set foot on my balloon?
Hold it!
That's the one way he could have gotten down from the roof of that building. Alright, let's game this one out, shall we? Suppose I took him down to the ground like you said. What's wrong with doing that?
Objection!
So you admit it, you did take him on your balloon.
Objection!
You're really obsessing over this one little detail. This isn't like you, Miles. How do you think it went down? He held me at gunpoint and said, "Show me to the city at night"? That's ridiculous, and you know it is. Or did you really fail to think this through?
Objection!
You said yourself you gave him Sean's identity. Surely that was enough to win him over.
Objection!
Him over? The man who shot me? No, 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 no! Then you must have put him to sleep and carried him away like you did with me.
Objection!
Very well, let's suppose that's true for a second. Did the autopsy show the presence of sedatives? It's no good. It's not giving us an opening. Anyway, never mind all that. There's way more interesting things I'd rather talk about. Besides, I thought he was crushed by that monster head.
Hold it!
Actually, I have some doubts about that. I mean, the president really was killed by the Torosaurus head.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've been throwing your own pet theory in the trash, Mr. Genius Prosecutor. Aren't you the one who went to all the trouble to prove that the man squished by head hypothesis that was true?
Objection!
That may have been my theory at one point, but that was when we thought the head was the only thing that could have crushed him.
Objection!
Why the past tense? It's still your theory, no? It's not likely to have anything else right now. The president's body double was crushed under the falling Torosaurus head. Fact. No, there must be something. Some other piece of evidence that could link this man to the president's death by crushing. Don't you think it's time you gave up, Miles? I don't like watching you struggle like this. Just checking something here. Okay. Sorry, I just remembered something I need to check real quick. We all know who did it. The model head is practically screaming his name. And who said old Tor's horses did a Sure, Sean was the one who caused the head to fall, that much we know. He even admitted to it himself. Fantastic, so we're all in agreement. Well done, everybody, case closed. I just saw the Karma Toast thing. That's actually really funny, Robo. Really good. Goomba stomping, yeah. Spent hours of my life stomping Koopas. In the original Mario arcade game, which you can't do, by the way. You cannot stomp on the arcade game. You get them from beneath. Sean Fenn killed the fake president, and that's that. Somebody get those cops in here. I'm surprised Nintendo let that air. Like, they were like, you don't stomp on the Koopas in the original game. This guy knows nothing about our shit. Like, I'm surprised Nintendo of America wasn't like, oh, we gotta nip that one in the bud real quick. Sean Fenn killed the fake president, and that's that. Somebody get those cops in here.
Objection!
And not so fast. This case is far from closed. He's still scrabbling, huh? Alright, then enlighten us and be quick about it. You can't? I want to see the kid in handcuffs. Or are you only a stickler about the law when things are going your way? Mr. Edgeworth, what do we do? What do we do? Think, Miles, think. Mr. Saint killed the president's body double. It would have to have happened while the two of them were together on the roof. So what would he have to do? What would he have had out to hand? So what would he have had to hand? That's the answer. That'll show us how he's killed. Would he have had to hand? That's not right. Had on hand. That's the wrong word. That's absolutely a mistake. Matter of fact, Koopas didn't even exist in the original arcade game. You had to flip over these things called shell creepers. Ah, well, there you go. Ah, he's not making this easy, is he? Need to think about how this president died. It's a very particular case, to say the least. We assume that he was crushed by the Torosaurus head, and the whole thing becomes Sean's fault, right? What if that wasn't what the president was crushed by? Is there something else that could have exerted a similar kind of force? Another type 2 crab-like enemies called sidesteppers later popped up on beaches in MK Wii. Yeah. I mean, I think a balloon landing on the guy, the basket of the balloon would be pretty hard, rough. Especially if maybe Simeon dropped it from a considerable distance, which would be very dangerous, but maybe in a few feet would be safe.
Objection!
Sean didn't kill the president. But he did shoot the deputy. The president was crushed by a monster. What? Did you really just say that? You? Oh, I get it. He's the kid who could communicate with giant beasts, right? Did he use his special powers? The only person in communion with monsters was you. Sorry, but you must have me mixed up with somebody else. No monster pals here, I'm afraid.
Objection!
Why the false modesty? You're very close with at least one such creature. In fact, you can make this particular monster do exactly as you command. It was you who killed the president, Mr. Saint, and I can prove it. What? You're talking about the lion balloon? Yes, a quivering mockery of a monster filled with hot air, just like me. As always, again. That might be a good screenshot for this if I don't want to spoil it on YouTube. Actually, no, there's another good shot for the end of this game that we're going to use instead, I think. But a monster nonetheless. Not entirely unlike Mr. Saint himself. Sorry, you lost me. What are you trying to say exactly?
Objection!
You seemed very keen to stick to your story about having manipulated Sean and the president. But no matter how true you may have wanted it to be, that was nothing more than a desperate lie. Even the most skilled animal tamer can't make the dead do his bidding. And the president was dead long before he left that roof. Having been killed by your balloon. Oh! I get it now. That thing may look lighter than air, but it weighs a few hundred pounds, right? When the president attacked you from the roof. You had to think quickly in order to protect yourself. The method you chose, landing the balloon right on top of him. You didn't need to let him ride on that balloon, and he didn't need to coerce you into taking him, because what you took away was his dead body.
Objection!
Wait a minute now, Miles. If what you're saying is true, the president would have been killed 2 nights ago, which would mean the time of death recorded in the autopsy was wrong. It would? Wow, you really are losing your touch. Look again. It's written right there. So how'd you know that? Time of death, April 5th at approximately 11 p.m. Time of death, April 5th at approximately 11 p.m. Clear as day. Ugh. April 5th, that was yesterday, which means... Exactly. It means he died when the Torosaurus head fell off the roof. Alright, Sean, it's time to be honest with us all. You know it's the right thing to do. You killed your daddy, didn't you? You hated him, didn't you? We get it. Who wouldn't? He just left you. What kind of father would do that? No, that's not what happened. I already told you I didn't know who he was until today. Oh, but you did know, because I told you myself. Ah, might you really have been so wide off the mark? I want to thank you once again, Miles. You hounded Winter and Lagarde until their crimes were finally exposed. And by ruining them both, you helped me get my revenge. Gotta love those powers of deduction. Wide of the mark, yeah. Oh, I thought wide of the mark was expression. No, it is a typo. Okay, adding that to the compilation. Yep, that's going to my cringe compilation. Snap. If the time of death matched up, everything else would fit. So, could he have possibly cheated the time of death somehow? Oh, what's this other guy's name again? Carmelo Gusto? You even ran him down for me. That was some great work you did there. Of course, Gusto, the IS-7 incident. He killed Frost and froze his body in order to conceal it. Mr. Gusto needed to freeze Mr. Frost's body in order to obscure the time of death. They determined that a murder occurred during afternoon tea. He would have been an obvious suspect. Wouldn't it be far off the mark? Well, wide off. I mean, whatever. Bingo! I can't remember what his voice was. Bootleg Wario. Yep, like father, like son. I only wished I could have been there to see his downfall too. How could you say that? He was your father. Kay, you knew you knew his father was an evil piece of shit who didn't care about him. It's so scary. Miss Lagarde just keeps asking and asking about what happened that day. Where are you, Dad? When are you coming to get me? Please, I need you to come take me away. Is it because I broke my promise? Because I didn't show up in time to help you taste your work? Wide of the mark is actually correct. It's the way it's commonly used nowadays. Ah, alright. We gotta retract it. We're retracting this one in real time here. That's technically not a typo, but it doesn't sound right. There's another one the other day that was wrong that I like captured for some reason. I can't remember what it was. Take that. May have shared the same blood, but that's it? Father? But that's it. Father? What a joke!
Objection!
You may not want to hear this, Mr. Saint, but you share more than blood. Hate him all you like, but you're more like your father than you know. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Fate can be strange sometimes, but this was no coincidence. Untaking that from my cringe compilation, yeah. Can I reverse the sound effect, the snapshot sound effect? You and your father were the same, even in the methods you chose. You deliberately threw off the time of death, just as he did. That's right, we had to rescue him from a warehouse refrigeration unit down by the harbor. Refrigeration unit in a depot. Threw off the time of death? And how did I do that exactly? By hiding the president's body in a very specific place. You hid the body right here.
Take that!
You need to keep the body cool somewhere. You also needed somewhere to keep Sean. Heh, who knew that the two were connected? You're talking about the kidnapping again? Why are we bringing that up now? As much as you wish to, we had forgotten. We know that you kept Sean in the refrigeration unit. The same refrigeration unit in which you kept the president's body. Look, here he is all irradiated in blue. Or teal. Just as your father froze the body he was trying to get sealed 18 years ago. What? You're saying I'm the same as him? The same as the animal who abandoned me? A sad irony, but an undeniable truth nonetheless.
Objection!
Shut up! I'm nothing like him. I could never be like him. He's nothing to do with me. We're nothing alike.
Objection!
Sorry, kiddo, but I think it's pretty clear that you and Augusto have more than a little in common here. You even told us you didn't like sweet stuff way back when we first met, right? That's not a product of your daddy issues. I don't know what is. You don't understand. We have tried to disown your father, but he lives on in everything you do. You think the same way. And you're every bit as prepared as he was to sacrifice others in order to protect yourself. Your crimes were even exposed in the same manner. You couldn't be more similar. Or should I say... I don't know anything about a refrigeration unit, and the kidnapping? Nothing to do with me.
Objection!
Nonsense. Hey, Guffy, thank you for giving out a gift sub. I gave it to Jade and Buck, too. I know them. They're from GVG. Also, hey, Guffy, how you doing? Nonsense. You did it so you could blackmail Judge Gavelle. We know for a fact that you were involved.
Objection!
You're a real danger to be around, you know that, Miles? What aren't you going to accuse me of? But it changes nothing. You still don't have any proof of incitement, of kidnapping, of anything. Oh, wait. Are you planning to maybe fabrication? Are you planning on maybe fabricating some? Taking a leaf out of the old winter playbook? Just got home from work. Hope gaming is good. Yeah, it is. I'm almost done. Similarly criminally. Taking a leaf out of the old winter playbook? Never. I would never do that. Can't let myself rise to the provocation. What was the line? No matter what happens, we must find the truth? Something like that? Huh. But only when the truth suits you, huh? That's how law keeps people down, isn't it? How have you been? How have you been, Guffy? Oh boy, I'm getting dizzy from all this reading. And why I had to get my revenge myself. I got away with it. I got away with it all. Lagarde, winner. And now you. None of you can touch me. This is bad, Mr. Edgeworth. Is there anything we could do? Everything points to this man being our culprit. But we need evidence, even just one piece. Oh no, we don't need one piece. That would take forever. Alright, it's been fun, but time we brought this little show to an end, don't you think? Stick around for the main event, though, won't you? I'll even let you in for free. You finally admit defeat. Who was that? Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Gummy, where have you been? I've been doing my job, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to. And Detective Gumshoe, do you have anything to report? I had them look into a few things real quick, sir. About the refrigeration unit where the kid was kept. It was registered to... the Berry Big Circus, just like you said. And there it is, just in the nick of time. Excellent work, Detective. Well, Mr. Saint... must be some kind of mistake. Why would a circus need a refrigeration unit? Valid question, I suppose, but we're no experts on the circus trade. Perhaps we could ask your department manager for her thoughts on the matter. Well, Miss Berry? Oh, we do hire a unit to store all the food for the animals. But I don't know where it is. I leave all that stuff to Simeon. He's so good at that kind of thing. Oh, you fool! Eeks, Simeon, you're scaring me. Such a shame, but rushing to find a solution after the fact so often leads to mistakes. You knew that if the body was found in the unit, the suspicion would fall on you. So you panicked and moved it to the grounds of the big building instead. Who was that? The guy with the no take that line. Yeah. Guy with no lines in general. Gah! But you weren't counting on Sean being found in the unit when you kidnapped him. Only you'd known you were up against a great thief and an even greater detective. Is everything alright? You're looking a little pale. Don't think you've won just yet, Miles. You're missing proof of the most important part of your little theory. I am. Perhaps you could enlighten us. You don't have any evidence that I crushed the presidential faker with that balloon. Well, Gumshoe got praise, yeah.
Bruh.
I'm exhausted. And I know you don't, because there isn't any. I'm afraid there is. What? Mr. Saint murdered the victim as we think he did. There should be traces of your misdeed left on this piece of evidence. It's all coming back. The piss stain on the president's body double's chest. They were lion lilies, and if they were crushed by the balloon, then there must be traces of that on the bottom of the balloon.
Take that!
Gumshoe, my beloved. Analysis of the balloon basket should turn up the evidence we need. The balloon again? You already have your bullet hole. What else do you expect to find? We, expect to find plenty, actually. Isn't that right, Mr. Edgeworth? If there's truth to be found, then he'll find it. He's a hero of justice. He sure is. We'll find something for sure. Mr. Edgeworth has gotten out of his way out of tighter spots than this one. What they said. We believe in you, Miles Areno. And so does your pop. He's looking down on you right now. I know he is. Just stay calm and see this through to the end, Miles Edgeworth. A perfect victory is only moments away. The president's body double was killed by the balloon. Traces of a certain substance will prove that. And you, Simeon Saint, will pay for your crimes at last. I'm looking forward to this. Time to wrap up the mysteries of the past and present once and for all. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, deal the final blow to this unforgivably wicked man. The last piece of evidence will prove your guilt beyond a doubt. What should we expect to find in the president if it was used to crush the balloon? If it was used to crush the president? The bouquet.
Take that!
When Sean found the president's body, he also found a bouquet of lion lilies. Lion lilies, symbol of the connection between parent and child. A popular flower back in Zhengfa. That's your proof? Bunch of flowers that'll be rotting at the dump by now? Bunch of flowers that Sean threw away? So much for your beautiful symbol of parental connection. That's nothing to do with any of this. Ignore him, Sean. You threw those flowers away, that much is true. But the bond they represented remains as strong as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. The president held on to them until the last, an act which provided us with our final piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about? The flowers Sean disposed of had been squashed flat. They'd been clearly crushed by the balloon. If we examine the basket for traces of lion lily pollen, what do you think we might find? No, you don't need to do that. You looked over the basket just now. Anyway, if there's pollen stuck to it, you would have seen it. Those flowers are a bright yellow.
Objection!
Not all evidence is visible to the naked eye, Mr. Saint. Huh? Emma? Yeah? I'd like you to call on your scientific skills once again, if you don't mind. Leave it to me. Alright, let's take a look at this balloon basket, shall we? Ah, got something. Bright yellow pollen, just like you said. It's from the same flowers. Shouldn't take more than another quick test to prove it. What? And there we have it. You murdered the president, and this murder you carried out yourself. No, how could this? No! Blinded by science, you crushed the president with that balloon. Then you loaded his body onto the basket and took him to the refrigeration unit. Like Michael Jordan's classic punchline from when he sunk it from 3. Shabingus. What? Is that real? Did he say Shabingus, or is that like a bastardization of something else? But why? Why go to the trouble of removing the body? Because he knew another incident was scheduled to occur that same evening. Oh, Rosie Ringer's murder. Exactly. If he left the body there, it would have interfered with his other plans. I get it. And he couldn't have left the body in the refrigeration unit for too long either, right? Indeed not. So while returning to the big building to drop off the body again... the following night, he must have observed fire Sean caused and the Torsaurus head falling as a result. That's what gave you the idea, wasn't it? To frame Sean for the murder? You made it seem as if the falling head was what killed him so that my son would take the blame. Despicable coward. In order to achieve your aim, you lowered the president's body from the balloon to the lot below. And while he was dangling from the rope you used, he was caught on Sean's rehearsal tape doing the Akuma pose. It's actually a joke based on the Russian badger. Oh, okay. No! How did you... Line was initially said after basically verbatim by Goose. Juice after nailing a hard lob shot in World of Tanks. Oh. How did you see through it all? How? How? You manipulated people and you manipulated his case, just as you manipulate animals on stage. You thought you were all-powerful, but your reign is at an end. The animals look like they're mad at you, Simeon. Even Money and Isaiah. They thought you were their friend, but you're not. They're sad and mad all at the same time. Stop it. Stop looking at me like that. Perhaps they will when you finally stop clowning around. Oh! I don't think I have that sound effect. Actually, I do have a sound effect, though. You're not cut out for comedy. Your tale is destined to end with a whimper. I don't... Get away from me! Get away from me! Leave me alone! Dad, where are you? I'm so scared. I don't know what you're talking about. I've done nothing wrong. Nothing! I'm not the bad one, they are! Why, Bronco? Why'd you stop me from going to see my dad? If only none of them had done what they did. I wouldn't have had to. Clown me made it in here. I couldn't trust the police. I couldn't trust anybody. I was all alone with nobody to help me. But that man, he helped me. Candace was the only one who ever helped me. So what if I used people? I had to. Is that so wrong? No, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Ah, that hurts. Ah, stop it. You. No. Ah. No. No. Falcon kick, yeah. It's beaten up by the whole circus. He's fine. Couldn't even cut it out as a rodeo clown, Terry McGinnis, yeah. What a fucking animation, elephant meat. Get wrecked, bitch. I want that snake to do something to him, like choke him. It seems the game is up at last. The killer. Mr. Edgeworth, may I be the first to congratulate you. You have unmasked the person behind this entire sorry affair. Now I am free to... No! Guns are so clumsy, don't you find? I don't have a gun. Please, not only are you carrying one, you were just about to draw it. Must have stolen it from the president after murdering him. There's gentleman betrayed a bond of trust, not kill him. He knew the so-called president was an imposter, and he employed me to kill him nonetheless. There's nothing more dangerous for an assassin than to be lied about the nature of one's target. One does not know what cards one opponent's carrying. One can be very unpleasantly surprised. But that was not your true crime. No, thinking you could deceive me, manipulate me. That is the crime for which you are about to pay. No! Such a great shot here. You! It's been a while, Dick Killer. Step aside, Chemist. This man is my target. I would politely ask that you call off this particular job. He'll pay for his crimes, but in prison, not at the end of your blade. And if I refuse, let's just say I might not take the loss of the one life that I ever saved too well. You save a life, Bodhidharma Canis, the blind butcher himself. Preposterous, I know. But yes, I who have once taken so many lives, once chose to preserve one, that of an innocent young pup. And he in turn saved mine. Something of a bond formed between us. Laugh all you like, I know I would. But I would respectfully request that you spare him. As one professional to another, I ask that you let this particular target live. Very well. The boy must mean a lot to you. Thank you. I am in your debt. Knife versus screwdriver chisel, yeah. You need not thank me. I simply see little point in the two of us killing one another. I pick knife. Now then, I bid you all good day. No! Get back here! Son of a bitch! You have my thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. This young pup needed to be shown the error of his ways, and you have done just that. Alright, I suppose we better get back. Our ironclad enclosure awaits. Doesn't it, Helmet? Yes, yes it does. Hold it! Oh, hello. You killed my dad, didn't you, old man? I will not lie. I did. My victims deserve to be remembered, at the very least. But I sense a great hatred from you, horned pup. In that case... Sean, no! You must not falter, little one. Here, you may use my knife. Take it, and cut my throat. One sure slice is all it'll take. I was growing rather tired of carving my little statues anyway. I want revenge. I want it so badly. Sean, don't do it! Please, Sean. I beg of you. At least I did until just now. Would have done anything to make you pay, no matter how long it took. Oh, but you should have wronged... You should make those who wronged you pay. It'll make you feel so good. Trust me. All the pain, all the suffering, it all goes away. It all drowns it out. Numbs it. Maybe it does. Listening to you, thought maybe that's what I wanted. Sean. But it's not just about me. Say I get my revenge. How does that help anybody else? The thing about this here is that this guy with the chisel, being so renowned, could potentially win that match, yeah. Shut your mouth, sinner. If I become a murderer, my mom suffers 10 times more than I would ever. And so would all the people I work with. They're counting on me, and they worry about me. Awful words indeed, little one. Yeah, well, I get it now. Won't ever forgive you, but I shouldn't be the one that gets to punish you. That's what these guys are for. My mom, the prosecutor, people like that. Sean. Oh, you may be young, Sean, but you're wiser than I'll ever be. You could at least consider trying to better yourself, Kay. Very well, and I suppose we'll be on our way. With me, young pup. On our way? To where? Where else? To the prison. Our home. Our... home? So you hasn't taken any class on psychology of the human psyche. Nope. They're all just master manipulators. And with that, the case finally came to an end. A case that had dragged so many people into its orbit. But as for me, there was one last thing I had to do. Go to the bathroom and crank one out. April 8th, 2:54 p.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence, Chamber. So it's 2 days later now. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Edgeworth. What's the big idea, big guy? Want to tell us what we're doing here? Mr. Edgeworth. Your request has been processed and approved. Huh? What now? I've asked for my prosecutor's badge to be reinstated. Your badge? What is the meaning of this? I am returning it. From this day forth, I'm a prosecutor no longer. Everyone got hella screwed one way or another to some degree, yeah. I mean, this was a game about very bad dads manipulating shit and killing people. And a bad person who disguised himself as another bad dad. Because he was busy being Presidente. Still can't believe you did that for me. A great man once said that an attorney's job is to be a friend to the friendless, and to trust his clients to show him the way to the truth. That man's image will forever be burned into my memory. My father in the courtroom, fighting for those who could not fight for themselves. Good old Gregory. But that was his path. Your path. Mine lies elsewhere. Mr. Edgeworth. My path is that of the prosecutor. It always was. Well, I guess that's that. I'm sorry. No, I dig it. Besides, I could tell by that look in your eye that your mind's made up. It is. Alright then, looks like our work together is diddly done. Just don't come crying to old Eddie if you change your mind. This club's now closed to new members. I understand. Hey, Milester. Care to tell me why, at least? How come you're so dead set on popping the old prosecutor's hat back on? You once asked me something, Fender. You going to keep fighting crime as a prosecutor or help people as an attorney? Something tells me you got a big decision ahead of you. Only one only you can answer. I've been thinking about that question ever since. About how I mean to live my life. And now that this case is over, I think I finally know that answer. I'm going to help people as a prosecutor. But can't you also do that as an attorney? Look at it this way. Simeon Saint was also a victim of sorts. He lost his only parent all those years ago, and with him his ability to believe in a just world. I know how that feels. To lose somebody so important to you. To lose faith in everything. To doubt everything and be utterly alone. To fight and fight and fight. All that I could hope to do is get every defendant declared guilty, so I make that my policy. But I was lucky. Somebody was kind enough to save me from myself. Objection! It was that man, but we don't get to see him. Mr. Saint had nobody. He had no faith in the law. He felt that seeking revenge on himself was the only option. That man mentioned, yeah. I want to help people like him. And how do you plan to do that? If he had been able to rely upon the law, none of this would have happened. Chairman Winner made a mockery of justice, and in so doing, drove Mr. Saint away from seeking it. That's fine. So doing is as valid as doing so. And when he came to manipulate, that's when he stopped being the victim and became the suspect. Well, yeah, Karma, but you have to take this all... The whole point of this isn't to justify anything about what Simeon did. It's just to show that he wasn't in control of the circumstances that led him to really becoming the way he did. Like, it's an unfortunate circumstance, and he obviously should not be forgiven for any of the stuff he did, especially murdering the body double, but, you know, it's an example of why the law is flawed in this world, because we have people manipulating it. The law is only as good as its practitioners. It can be a shield that keeps people from harm, keeps people safe from harm, or sword wielded to wound them. Just as one among many of the law's great contradictions. You could say that again. Yep, it's what we in the folks of the trade like to call a legal contradiction. The law is far from perfect. But one cannot solve such contradictions in the law without engaging in it. I don't think an attorney could have saved Mr. Saint. But a prosecutor, a custodian of the law? I think perhaps they could have. I plan to take up my badge again and confront those contradictions at every turn. Very Mazzarino. I like it. You know, it won't be easy breezy though, right? Fighting the law itself, that's lawyering on hard mode. Custodian. I mean, custodians of the law is a very common term. Understand this case is very important. We got some nerve asking the chief prosecutor to step down and prosecute for you. Highly irregular, to say the least. Phoenix Wright will be defending. Car noises. All may bend or break, but the truth always prevails. Yep. I understand that, but somebody has to do it. He called Payne a custodian once. Yeah, and not the law kind. Yeah, in the beginning of the first game. Oh, I don't doubt that. If it has to be anybody, it should be you. Laws are like people, I guess. They both gotta grow and change. Adapt or perish, am I right? You're going to smash this, I just know it. After all, you're Gregory's boy through and through. And if there's one thing that man did not know how to do, it's give up. Eyes on the prize and straight on till sunset. That was his motto. You know what? I saw that same determination on your face the second you mentioned taking up prosecutoring again. Is that a word? You know what's really grown up and changed? Hate to be a great big cheese ball, but you. Only wish your dad was here to see it. He'd be proud as all get out. Can I be a great big cheese ball? I want to be made of cheese and round. Fender, thank you. Can we get this shit on the road here? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, if you're ready to begin, we could get the ceremony underway. Please. By the power vested in me by the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence, I, Verity Gavel, do hereby, in the sight of the Almighty Goddess, reinstate Miles Edgeworth as a servant of the law. Prosecutor's badge jotted down on my organizer. Alright, you're a prosecutor again. That's the only thing here. Sharp cheddar flavor, yeah. I have no interest in wearing it, even though I have it. Oh look, Aldous is back, It's funny because it still lists Eddie as Fifi Lagarde's attorney. Alright, you're a prosecutor again. That's news I've heard all week, sir. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, I got a scoop. Your pops is gonna want to know how this kid just signed up for the opposition a second time. Thank you again, Fender, for everything. Don't thank me yet. Next time you see me could be across a courtroom. Or never again. I might never show up again. That's also a possibility. Probably never again. And this face is a whole lot less roguishly charming when it's not on your side of the aisle. Farmer said I want to be a big cheddar cheese ball. Sharp cheddar flavor. That'd feel pretty Gouda feeling. Wait, is Miles' dad dead or not? He is. He died in 2001, about 18 years ago. Because of the case because of that other case with the with Simeon's dad, it led to the prosecutor in charge of that case shooting him in an elevator. What Eddie's talking about is that he's going back to the Edgeworth and Company law offices and essentially telling it to a photo of Gregory Edgeworth that he has in his office. Demand game number 3, my lord. Well, there's not going to be a number 3 of this, but there is one last DS game that came out before this, but takes place after it that I will play eventually. And then there's 2 3DS games after that. Well, 4, but I already played the Great Ace Attorney games. I would relish the opportunity to face an attorney trained by my father. Hope that day comes very soon. Alrighty, Fender out. Going around the long way. Door's on the other side. Welcome back into the fold, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Thank you, Judge Gavel. I owe you more than I could say. You do? You strove to right the wrongs of the committee from the inside. That must have been a lonely battle indeed. Not at all. I was never truly alone. That's right, you had the goddess of justice on your side. Thank you for teaching me that it's possible to fight in such a way. The contradictions within the committee are like those within the legal system itself. If we aren't able to overcome them, the real truth will forever evade us. I have you to thank for teaching me that, and for setting me on this path. I hereby swear to confront the contradictions that afflict the law, and to overcome them. And I thank you for your commitment to that cause, as does the Almighty Goddess. I truly believe that such efforts are necessary in order for the law to grow and improve. I will look forward to seeing you in the courtroom again soon. As will I. You did not see the best of me when I last oversaw a trial. Next time will be different. I will show you what it means to serve justice with true impartiality. Judge Gavel, I don't mean to call your motivation into question. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? But to my mind, the ideal judge is not wholly impartial. The ideal judge is human. Even in the courtroom, they laugh, they cry, they rage, they smile. And then, when all is said and done, they pass down a judgment based on that very humanity. I'm not sure exactly how to put this, but perfection isn't always the loftiest of ideals, and it's certainly not the only thing to strive for. Forgive me. This is my opinion, nothing more. You're right, of course. There are other ways. I thank you for sharing your insights. Mr. Edgeworth, there's another reason why I was never truly alone during my long struggle against Chairman Winter. Someone else was with me. Someone other than the goddess. Of course, Sean! This clipping gave me courage, more courage than words can express. Simply having it near gave me hope. No matter how hard things get, no matter how formidable one's opponent, when we feel that we're not alone, we can keep going, no matter how hard the road ahead. Mistakes have been made, but we must fix them. For Sean's sake more than anyone else's. Is this the end? How much of the novel is left? Just the credits and the after-credit scene. Like the mistakes made in the incident in which his father died. So you see, there's something more important even than me than the words of the guard. Something important even to me than the words of the goddess. Though it may anger her to hear me say such things. So that was your secret weapon all along. The strength of your bond with your son. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps I should strive not for unachievable perfection. But I must grow. As a servant of the law and as a mother. That I believe above all else. I see. Seems that we both have plenty still to learn. Indeed. Well, we are neither of us perfect yet. Let us continue along our chosen paths, and continue to grow as we tread them, until we meet again. I'll look forward to that day. May the goddess watch over you as you embark upon the next step of your journey. Throat hurt. I lost the title of Prosecutor, but now I've regained it. In doing so, I've seen a new way forward, a new path for justice. I'm determined to follow that path until it finally leads me to the truth, no matter how hard it might be, no matter what obstacles might arise. Woe betide anyone who stands in my way, for whoever they may be, whatever they might say. I'll lift up my voice and shout.
Objection!
Why was it so fucking fast? Whew! Yeah, time, exactly. So, Chief, what kind of scoop we looking to land ourselves next, huh? I can't. This is all text. I teach you nothing, knucklehead. We're journalists, dang it. These are our stock and trade, our bread and butter. You don't just hand that stuff over. Not even your danged apprentice. Sorry, Chief. Guess I still got a whole bunch to learn, huh? Or still time the Japanese text, yeah. All right then. Better go track down some leads myself. That's the spirit. You'll get him, champ. Before you mosey on down the way. Mind sharing what kind of leads their leads might be? Huh? But, Chief, you... Come on now, I'm pretty much your editor, ain't I? Can't hold out on the boss. Oof. Come on, Chief, that's cold. Yeah, I know, that was a very quick... Like, even without reading that, even without voicing that, that was still fast to read. My arm wound has yet to fully heal, even now. The bodyguard who inflicted it was a skillful practitioner indeed. I shan't be forgetting his name in a hurry. But never mind that now. Time to return to the life of a simple ice cream seller. Although I have been thinking that perhaps crepes would be more my speed. Well, no rush. I'm sure there'll be time to ponder the matter before my next job comes in. Love how he just stuffed an entire ice cream cone in his mouth, yeah. Music's really good. Sure, you may have knocked me on my butt-wise, guy, but I ain't for the count just yet. I'll be keeping my guard up and looking for an opening. We'll get out of this dump. Ain't that right, Teddy? Second the bell rings for the next round of escape shenanigans, we'll come out swinging. Till then, it's training, and more training. Gotta eat that chicken tenderloin. bear, yeah. You want to know if I'm still planning on becoming an animal stylist? Sure, I'm still studying every single day. It's still up to my elbows in mud. But I guess it suits me better than being a newspaper salesman. I plan to make it my new career when I finally get out of here. What's that? Is my release a few more years away? Now because I helped warden the guard? Why do you think I'm being so nice to these stupid freaking animals? I don't care about the freaking license, I just want to get out of here. Why me? Because you murdered a girl. Shove him into the alligator pit, yeah. Because you murdered a girl and tried to frame Larry for it. I was so shocked when I learned what Simeon had been up to this whole time. Some of these are moving too slow now. I trusted him. I was his boss. Still, can't sit around being sad forever, I guess. Show must go on. Can't let the magic department and ventriloquy department get the better of us. We'll let the stage and blow away the competition, and all those awful memories with it. So it's still having breakdowns even outside the courtroom. Yep, well now, because now he's got to stay in jail for longer. Because he helped warn the guard by shutting off the breaker every week. I must have gotten soft in my old age, haven't I, boy? Yes, I have. 18 years ago, I saved a life, and the troublesome child is still keeping me busy to this day. And now here we are, back in a cage. Well, we'll have company soon at least, won't we, boy? Yes, our friend the pup. Things certainly won't be dull with him around. No, they won't. It'd be nice of Canis to just go back to jail. What dessert shall we eat? Chocolate cake, sticky and sweet. Oh, so soft, fluffy and light. You'll be dreaming of it tonight. I'll always be waiting for you, Judy. And I'll come visit you every day, just like you and Eddie did when I was in here. You've so much to thank him and Mr. Edgeworth for. Most of all, the fact that I get to eat your delicious cooked desserts again, Samson. And not just you. They gave me permission to keep providing sweet treats to everyone here. Guess spreading the gospel of candy making for all these years is finally paying off. Keeping Canis and Saint in the same cell is probably a bad idea. They're probably not going to be in the same cell, but... I imagine Canis could probably be like, hey, I'm the getter, or the closer, or whatever. Oh, hello, sweeties. Fancy seeing you here. I owe you a great big thank you, you know. I still can't get her accent right. To old Greggy Pegleg, too, of course. After all, it's thanks to all of you that I can eat semi-purple sweets again. I'm even thinking of making it a lovely medicine out of them. I'm going to call it Snacker's Delight. It makes your stomach so small you can only eat snacks. So you can get skinny as a tent peg and love every minute. I'm going to make a fortune. Man, I've met so many beautiful people now and drawn so many beautiful sketches. Lulu isn't the biggest fan of my new work, though. She took one look at my sketchbook and hit me over the head with it. Bam, just like that. And, then she left. Guess that's one less beautiful person in my life now. So I've got a big decision ahead of me. Do I follow my art or follow my heart? By heart I mean new girlfriend. You got that right? You got that right? We will see him again in the future. Just not for a very long time. Meanwhile, all the other investigations, exclusive characters you're never seeing again. Franziska, too. She's gone after this game. Badster, the Badnator. Seriously, though, thanks for the assist today, good buddy. Huh. You want me to talk about IS-7? Talk all day? Sounds like that Edgeworth kid is doing some good work. Yeah, Mazzarino chose a different path from his old man in the end. A path that means we can't work together. That won't stop me from looking in on him from time to time. Heh, you've come pretty far yourself. Holy macaroni! A compliment from Big Bad Detective Bad? Am I dreaming? Well, flattery will get you everywhere, old pal. You ever need a little Fender magic to say the word. Also, that's the sprite of Fender from modern day, where he has all the holes in his coat. That wasn't in the rest of this game. Friends leaves the series. Well, Friends doesn't show up again in any of the sequels. That's the only problem. She might show up again in a future game, but not right now. Looks like they'll be letting me off the hook a little easier than I thought for what I did. Guess because I told them I was kind of forced to do it. Ouch! Ain't no such thing as easy when it comes to crime, danged fool child. Sorry, Grandma. Still feel awful about it, of course. But I'm just so glad I get to stay out here with you. What's that? I think we should be getting back to work. Guess you're right. Can't keep the dead waiting. Can they all stay forever? Do we see any more Von Karma family line after Franziska here? Nope. In terms of the timeline, this is the last time you see any of the Von Karmas. As of right now, at least. Science saves the day again, huh? Feeling I happen to be around, right? Even if I do have to jump right back on a plane again and go back to Europe. Oh. All this flying around is gonna get tiring. Still, it's all part of becoming a first-class forensic investigator. Guess I better get going. Oh, but if you ever need me, just say the word, okay? I'll come running. You know I will. Now, Emma, on the other hand, you're gonna be seeing way too much of her in the next trilogy. She shows up a lot in the future games. Next game is chronologically something of a soft reboot. Yeah, it takes place way in the future. Not way in the future, but a decent amount. The greater one's father, the greater the pressure to be great. But Eustace Winter, was it? He's chosen his own path now, and he will be tested. Just as I was. Miles Edgeworth chose to live as a prosecutor over how his own father lived. That, too, is a valid answer to the question we've all had to wrestle with. It's sad, too, that Franziska never shows up, because that little monologue alone proves how much she's matured since the second game. She's definitely calmed down significantly. Love Emma's rose-colored glasses. Yeah, same. My father hid a secret, bore a burden. I can only have imagined. Not only of my family name, he thought of so much more. He thought of our entire nation. I mean to carry on that legacy, to fulfill his last great wish. Even if our president was an imposter. Even if the real president is long dead. Even if it takes all my effort and all my men's effort. Zhengfa will rise again. Can't wait for you to see it. It'd be cool if Lang showed up in a future game as, like, President Lang. That'd be fucking awesome. He just gets this buff as fucking, Wong. Just comes with a job. I gave up on the whole winner thing. Told everybody to stop calling me that. Because I didn't win. My dad did it all for me. I'm going to start again from scratch. I won't let what he did ruin everything. And pretty soon I'll be better than him. And better than Edgeworth. So watch out. Now, first order of business. Get a new nickname. Well, it was eventful to say the least, but we got it done. And the movie's going down great. I think the murder stories in the gossip magazines might have helped, actually. Big Bad Man emerges from Big Bad Bull. Revealed the true face of a monster beyond Zhengfa president murder plot. Huh? Wait, this is a picture of you, Mr. Powers. What? But, oh, why? Hey, it's not so bad. After all, it'll make people come and see the movie, right? Yeah, I guess. Muscle growth instigated by by presidency of foreign country. I mean, Eustace definitely has some potential and skill. Yeah, no. He has just about as much potential as anyone in the series does. Very much enjoyed the movie, Sean. It's nothing. He wasn't even a big part. The boy who befriended both Torosaurus and Gordy? They don't come any bigger than that. And it was a role you were born to play. Your hand is so big. You think? It would be cool to be in the sequel, I guess. And kinda like acting. Hey, can we pick up something before we head back? Wanted to get some lion lilies for my dad. course. And I'll buy some too. For Amelie. I think that was the last one. Yep. April 8th, 4:17 p.m. Prosecutor's building. Hi, Prosecutor's office. Just really crappy and sad that it was so stifled and when he went through the poor Eustace. Hope we do see him again at some point. Yeah, I would just like to clarify here. We don't see any Edgeworth exclusive characters from these games don't show up again. We do see a few characters, recurring characters come back, but for now they don't come back. Nothing's confirmed about them. When I eventually play the next trilogy, you'll see how it all ties together. But the next trilogy takes place after a time skip. So there's like significant changes. It's been a busy few days, huh, sir? Unbelievably so. How did so many important cases all come along at once? Never a dull moment when I'm around. Guess I'm just lucky that way. Wait, so all that stuff happened because of you? No, Gummy. How could you say that? And yet, I don't think the good detective is entirely wrong. Okay, what now? Will you be returning to your thieving practice? Yeah, good question. What? You're not sure? How can I put this? Guess I feel like I've been trying to follow my father's footsteps this whole time, you know? Trying to become a great thief just like he was. The Yatagarasu, or a Yatagarasu at least. But, watching how all this panned out for you, Mr. Edgeworth, got me thinking that maybe I need to get out from under this shadow and live my own life, too. Just like how you decided not to do the whole attorney thing. It's time to make our own fate. She's right. After all, nothing thrives in the shade. I'm going to be my own hero. Except assassins, they thrive in the shade. We literally just dealt with 2 of them. That sounds like an admirable plan indeed. Won't be giving up the name, though. Can't not be the Yatagarasu, right? Whatever name you pick, you'll always be K to us, K. And you'll always be a hero. Aw, thanks, Gummy. You'll always be my Gummy, too. You bet I will, and I'll be doing my detective thing just as hard as always. So I'll be counting on you, sir. Yes, and I'll be counting on you too, Detective. Just as I've been counting on you these last few days, you've helped us out too many times to mention. Think your next salary review may come as a pleasant surprise. Ooh, that might be a good, like, finale screenshot there. Gumshoe does show up in the next game, very briefly, for a very specific point. But I'm not going to say when and where. Huh? Huh? Wait, you mean... What's the matter? I'm saying I'll see to it that you get paid a little more, Detective. You will? This is unbelievable, sir. No way, go Gummy. It's like a dream come true. You finally leave the instant noodle life behind. But don't think I'll be letting you rest on your laurels. Your work won't be getting any easier. Hope you understand that. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Give you everything I got. Just you wait and see. Fender and Judge Gavelle set me on a new path in life. A path on which I will face down every contradiction that the law has to present. A path at whose end lies the ultimate truth. But can I really do this? I'll need to give it some serious thought. It certainly won't be easy. Nonetheless. Strength of my bonds. Oh, I almost forgot. What? What is it? I was trying to find other members for my Yatagarasu team, right? I do vaguely remember something about that. Never even found a single one. You're going to be unstoppable in our quest to steal the truth. Now his blood pressure will be much better from the cutback of sodium, yeah. Favorite Ace Attorney character, Bubble Boot. What? BRB. They really needed 3-style the King of Prosecutors Award. Think they could make it a sword for analogical purposes. Well, it was a sword and shield, and the sword got removed because of the case in the first game. So much for that little pipe dream. You're kidding, right? You already have a team. A team that could solve any case the world cares to throw at it. Huh? Yeah, I guess I do. The prosecutor, the detective, and the great thief. Between the 3 of us, we can hunt down the truth, put it in handcuffs, and steal it once and for all. I can't help but feel a little sorry for the truth in that case. As long as the three of us stick together, we got nothing to fear. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Indeed. Nothing at all. My father followed his own path, right to the end. And now I follow a path of my own making, too. But not alone. I have some colorful companions to help me. As long as they're beside me, I will not lose my way. It's a new path and a new me. And I'll be walking it as a prosecutor, not an attorney. My father's path and mine are different. But they're not as separate as they may seem. Though the routes differ, the destination is the same. Because, of course, both end at the truth. Oh, there's the ending shot there, right there. I'll put it away. Damn it, it was too late. I'll save it for later. Fuck. The end. Hell yeah. We got him. New items unlocked in the gallery. Typo counter. We'll do that in a second. But yeah, hell of a game, right? Oh, there we go. It updated in real time. Being awarded all other accolades. For completing story mode. For unlocking everything in the gallery. All 30 achievements unlocked. Perfect. There he is. Cringe Phil boy. Doing his thing. Yeah, this has to be the screenshot for the last episode. It has to be. Who's the beginning? Oh, so just the main characters at the beginning.
Objection! Take that! Hold it! Eureka!
Eureka!
Objection! Objection!
The wiener. Look at him. Look at the wiener.
Overruled! Objection! Objection!
Objection! We have to, like, examine all of them in both scenes for to get rid of the thing. Big man. Big man and little boy. Simeon Saint, true self. Yeah, well, he doesn't really have a ton of, like, images of himself, like, revealed. It's just the standing one and the panting one.
Objection!
Look at Weenie Hut Jr., yeah. I looked at these are just concept arts, but here you can see early winner. Looked a little more mature than he does in the final game. Wait a minute, did he? No fucking way. Ain't no fucking way that he originally was supposed to wield a Rubik's Cube after I've gotten so into speed cubing lately. God damn it. Also, his hair was pretty wild back then. He really was meant to be more of like an actual, like, cocky, good prosecutor, I guess. Oh, here, you want to see something cursed? Where is it? He fucks with glasses. You want to see something cursed? Here's Edgeworth without his hair spikes. Damn it. Muscle suit man. Yeah, obviously there's a reason I didn't show any of these ahead of time. Because of shit like that. Look at this. Is he threatening himself? Spooky. Yeah, he's threatening his beta design. Special exhibits. These, I believe, are just like collection exclusive images that came out. Some of these are older, I think, though. There's a comic of Edgeworth's morning procedure. And then there's Gumshoe, who's sleeping in a roach-infested box in a sleeping bag with a broken alarm clock. Poor Edgeworth. Deserves so much better than that. Don't take away the anime boy hair vents. Gosh, poor Gumshoe, yeah. Ah, man. It finally unghost for a good long time here. This has been quite a ride. I've been enjoying replaying the Ace Attorney series, and I definitely want to play the Apollo Justice trilogy at some point. But I'm going to take a break from it for now, because I have other stuff to do. And also, I want to play Danganronpa V3 already at some point. So that's going to be next before I go back to Ace Attorney. But, yeah. Just to put things in perspective, the last scene that we just saw takes place on April 9th, 2019. The events of the next game, the shit that happens in it, that goes down, takes place less than 10 days later. Like, April of 2019 is when the events that kick off an absolute disaster start. So the law being, like, on its way to redemption and stuff, shit goes really badly very quickly. So case 5 of the first game to do. Yeesh. Poor Gumshoe. Yeah, well, Gumshoe gets paid like shit. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for me. We've been going for a long time, and I need to eat something before I go to bed. But yeah, thank you all for coming and watching this all with me. I really appreciate that a lot of people enjoyed this. Way more than on YouTube. No one watches the YouTube VODs of this, I gotta say. But yeah, before I go, you know, thank you all. Before I go, I do want to say that, you know, just give a general thank you, because, like, I said this a few times, this is kind of this, consider this kind of a season finale for the stream. I don't know how much exactly I'm going to change between now and when I get back from MagFest, but that Tuesday when I get back, when I start Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I may have one or two things different, like I had last month. Like I started last month when I started implementing the icons and stuff. But I kind of want to start like a new, like, push here for something. Namely an overlay. I think an overlay is going to be the next thing I get. But we'll see. But thank you everyone who's come by for all these streams and has enjoyed themselves. I really appreciate it. If you want to watch more streams, don't listen to me burp, stick around. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw a raid to... Black and Yellow, because they're streaming VR chat, and I know Karma would suggest them if he wasn't BRB'd into oblivion right now. So, stick around. Say hi to Black and Yellow. Have a great upcoming week. Have a great MagFest if you're going, like I am, which I don't think anyone here is, but, you know, and have a excellent time. I'll be back Tuesday, January 28th, so I'll be back in exactly 10 days. 1, 2, 3, counting today, yeah. But otherwise, yeah, you know, keep it together, trust in your friends, don't let anyone fuck with you. That's all I'm gonna say. Take care, everyone. Good night.